everybody, this is Nina Infinity. Welcome to the Expanse discussion with my hostess, Jayne Theory.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Cannot
Good.
wait
Oh my
to discuss
God.
this episode.
There's so much to talk about. Like Jade and I were just sitting in the back waiting for Scott to show up, and we were like talking about it already, and I was getting so mad. I'm like, we need to save this for the stream. But let's say hello to some people here. We got Curtis in the house. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you. We got Jeff Beeler here.
Hey.
Hi, Jeff.
Hello.
Keith is here. Hello. Ready for another round of Infinite Theory? Yes. Let's do this. And then Sporking will join us maybe at some point as well. Jimmy's here. Hello, Jimmy. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Everybody, please smash that like, share the stream. This is going to be the last of the Expanse episodes for now, until maybe we'll have another stream and just bitch about everything. But but yeah, so this episode, how do we want to start this? Like talk about overall thoughts first and then get into breaking it down, or
we can do that.
Okay. All right. Oh, we got Curtis saying, hello, Queen Jayne.
Hello, Curtis. Hello.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I love how your name is British. It's the best. Curtis also said something about a Dutchman. I have to say one word, Dutchman. What? I don't get it. I want to say Dutchman scene at the end was, That's the only thing I liked about this whole episode was the last 5 minutes. That pretty much
were epic minutes.
They were great. Epic. So what? You know what? First, let's do introductions. Jayne, tell us where you're from, what you do. Thank you.
Yes, you can find me here on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and pop culture commentary. You can also catch me on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Central for Just Topics with Jayne. And here on Rogue Entertainment on Saturdays at 6 Central. And you can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
Woo! Yes, Jayne is awesome. And she's also on the Queen's Council now. Yeah,
I keep forgetting. Yes, on the Queen's Council. Yay!
Yay! Thursday's Queen's Council. It's gonna be awesome. We can't. I wonder if the guys know yet, like the kings. I wonder if they know that you're a queen now, because they're gonna be like, "Oh my God,
they'll be
Queen
surprised."
Jayne." I know it's gonna be great. So Jimmy says, I'll start. This episode was fucking awesome.
Ooh.
I disagree. As that guy says. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. That politician guy. John has that guy clipped. It's pretty funny. Hi, Zakra. Hi, Zakra. How are you?
Hey.
Jeff says I predicted space battles and we got 2 of them. That's true.
I like the space battles. I did like them.
I did too. That was pretty much the only good thing about the episode. And 5 minutes. And 5 minutes to the end. But yeah, it's okay. Tell us your overall thoughts.
Okay. My overall impression of this episode, it was roughly 70% enjoyable. I did like most of it. There were just certain scenes that should have been much more impactful that weren't, and they bothered me after the fact. Like, I enjoyed the episode, especially watching it. And that's one thing I think The Expanse has going for it, is that you generally enjoy watching it. But then after, there was just lingering feeling that just, it was unfinished, unpolished. You know? Like, that's sort of how I felt about it.
That's pretty much my thoughts as well. I think I'm more like a less than 70. That's for sure. Just like what the
I give it a 7 out of 10.
Is this the reason that honestly, the episode pissed me off, and we'll get to why, especially because of Alex's death. But I think that this episode could have been done like on episode 4. Like we could have been here by now. This whole season has been a freaking wash. It's just been a giant filler. And the fact that they wanted to like it, they just stretched out way too much to get to this point of like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, they're going into the expanse. Um, like we're gonna have what's his name, Marco, and
Hmm.
his crew are basically controlling the gate now on our side, and the Martians and them are going to the other side, and they've already been experimenting on the other side with the protomolecule when they received it.
Right.
And we find this all out in the last 5 minutes. We could have found this all out in
Yeah.
episode 4. Like it's like that. I just think that this whole season has been a giant filler, and that was disappointing for me. I'm like, mm-mm.
And I think that's what it was. I
Hello.
really kind of feel it was, and they probably just needed fewer episodes. We talked about that before. Instead of stretching it out, just give us fewer really good episodes. That's all I
I'm
had to say.
sorry. I just have to comment. President Circle Back. That is a great name. That's funny. And he's holding the Pepe the Frog guy. Oh my god. That's genius. That's approved. I'm sorry.
That's
That was
hilarious.
very off topic, but that was great. Yeah. So I agree with you. I just it just seemed so stretched out. And the other thing is like what you said about like the no emotional impact. That's one of the things that really got me about this episode. Like I was like,
Yeah.
this is not cool, man. Like because most of the Expanse has been all about emotional
Hmm.
buildups and like that emotional output that you get from certain people. It's been really about that. Like that's like the scene where Naomi like reunites with Amos.
Hmm.
That was kind of cool because you got to see like that. Like she was so like, oh my god, like I missed you, you know.
Yeah.
And even though he barely like put out any emotions, it was still like kind of good.
Hmm.
Whereas in, and we'll get to this when we break it down, but whereas in when that whole thing happened with Alex, we got nothing. We got
Right.
absolutely nothing. Like, and I was like, this is, and it shows that I think that they like basically I think they rewrote it. I don't
Yeah.
even think that I think they had something else planned and then that thing went down and then they had to make changes and that's what
Yeah.
happened. I think the original episode was different. Hello Titan. Thank
Hey.
you for being here. Um Jess says season 5 was an introspective character studies. Uh it didn't need to be because usually you do introspective character studies way earlier, like season 2, season 3, because you're building up characters and you're telling us, like, this character, this is how they will react to adversity. Season 5 is way too far out to go back to character studies. Like, you're into the fray now. Like, you're into the crux of your season, you're into the crux of your story. Going back, like taking a step back to do character study, is a waste of time. You should have built it by now, in
And
my
I
opinion.
kind of feel like it's something they could do, but I feel like giving every character an episode would have been better.
Exactly.
Like
But then how many
Amos,
episodes did that take? Like 4 or 5 episodes? And
right.
then that's it.
So we're back to sort of here
Exactly.
where it could have been done a lot faster, but yeah. Because Amos, I
Um,
mean, really, honestly, y'all, Amos was out there on Earth doing nothing for three episodes.
the entire season.
He literally just got back and didn't do anything. He got no part of the fight. It was so disappointing.
Curtis says, I will say the intensity of the space jump when Naomi was insane was in space. Yeah, I like that too. But then again, I also didn't because I was like, the fuck is this? Like, what the hell's happening right now? I don't know.
That
I
that makes sense to
I was
me.
mixed.
It made sense to me what she did. I like that part, but I also I don't know. It from what I've heard of the original version of it in the book, it was a lot more intense and more exciting and visually more interesting to watch.
Hmm.
So, and like that whole scene, if they had taken the book version and played that out, it would have been freaking epic. But they toned it down a little bit. So I enjoyed it, but it was toned down. And you can kind of tell that there should have been more going on.
Definitely. I know there's like a couple of trolls in the chat, guys. Just ignore, and I will hide people who are trolling. Just letting you guys know. That's how we roll on this channel. I don't take. Anyways, so yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with everything you just said. I'm still waiting for freaking Scott to show up so we can start breaking this down. But I don't think he's gonna show up. So let's just start.
He may not make it.
He might not. He's a dad. He's a dad, and that's important. Yep. Oops, not stop cam. Share screen. All right, here we go. Let's do this. So we start out. Sorry, gotta go back to this screen. Okay, so we start out in space.
Yeah,
that's good. With spaceships, yay!
Awesome.
That was great. And then this scene was really funny because, like when they're talking, and then they're finding they're talking about like Naomi and going to get her or whatever, and this chick's still worried about the proto molecule.
Yeah,
I was like. This and then I think it was that at that point where he was like, we're gonna go get her or something. Maybe it was later, but it was really funny to me because like that girl was like she gave him a look like I didn't sign up for this shit.
Right.
When they told her to suit up because they were like, oh, we're gonna go and fight with the Belters or whatever.
Yeah,
it was like. I didn't sign up for this.
And not just go and fight, but go and die. Like they're literally going to sacrifice themselves to be a distraction.
Yeah, 100%.
She's like, I am not here for any of this.
What 100%. She was like, I didn't sign up for this. I came to like go find out where the freaking proto molecule is, and now and she was like, what's the survival rate on this? And they're like,
no.
None. Like you're gonna die.
And she had a point. I mean, like her purpose is to essentially save mankind,
right?
And he just wants to save his friends. And I'm just like, this isn't. This is Holden being Holden. Did you not meet Holden? Did you not know what ship you're on?
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we'll check that out before the stream ends. I didn't know about this.
Oh, cool.
Did you see that?
Jayne? I did not.
Okay, maybe we'll do a trailer reaction together. That'll be fun. Let's see. Keith says, I like the Naomi story arc, but I think it could have been done in 3 episodes rather than 4. I think it could have been done in 2. Come on, people, condense everything down. Come on, let's get to the meat and bones of what's going on here.
I would say 2.
Yeah.
Because remember in the last episode, they had her basically doing the same thing as the episode before. So
I remember like with my husband when we were watching it, he's like in that second episode where we figured out like, she's changing the code, whatever. And then like she was doing it again. And he was like, are we, come on. Like, no, like again. No more of this. Like, again. Damn it. And then like, and then in the end of the episode, she's still like clanking against the walls. And we're just like, dude, no. Though I thought that was interesting though, because I was like, I knew she was doing something with the water. I really thought that she was going to try and short circuit stuff with like from the inside, but she did it so that she can use the fuel. And I guess we'll get there when we'll do that. And that I thought that was kind of cool. So then we see Drummer. Finally do something with her life, which was kind of cool. I thought she was gonna die. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought that she was gonna be one of the deaths this season. And of course, this girl, I hate this woman.
She is such a bee.
And the other guy too. I cannot believe that this dude was all like tried to tackle her over that other chick, the Siren or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
So this was it. This is when they're talking and he's like, let's go get her, like, we're gonna go kill those belters or whatever. Oh, and that whole thing was really funny too, with him saying like, what did they call skinnies or whatever?
Yeah, the skinnies. That's the
You don't say
last time
a
you say
word
that
on
on
this
the ship.
ship. I thought that was funny. There she is. She's all like, what?
But the thing is, he'd been saying it all along, so now suddenly it's a problem, really.
Look at her face. That was so funny. She was like, no, I didn't sign up for this,
Yeah.
man.
It's like, what's happening?
No,
Oh, now
man.
we're on a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
really? Well, I mean, you'd be on a suicide mission going after the proto molecule anyway. There she is. I was trying to get this shot because that was priceless. I was like, what is happening? Um, yeah. So like, it was just a really interesting situation to me that she was just like, oh yeah, like, I have no idea what I've been doing here the whole time. I'm willing to go after the proto molecule, which is like way more dangerous than the belters, but the belters, like, no.
But look at the purpose of it, though. I mean, one
It's
life
true.
versus every life.
That's very true. Um,
I would be upset.
I I would be upset too.
I'd be a tad angry. We're gonna die for your girlfriend, dude.
Dude, no.
Just let me off. Just get
drop me drop me off on Mars. Maybe I could track him down from there. Damn. Okay. So then we caught up with Balix.
Yeah.
This was upsetting. This is in retrospect is even more upsetting now that I know what's gonna happen.
Yes,
I'm
it would
like,
make you madder.
I'm so pissed. Why couldn't they just recap? Okay, we'll come back to this when he dies.
But they're
Look at
talking about the possibility of stroking out. They keep mentioning it over and over again.
it's
I guess
foreshadowing.
foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Very poorly.
Very poorly. So then he tells them that they're going after the Free Navy so that they can get away and go after Naomi. So they're like sacrificing themselves for this ship so that they can go after Naomi. And then of course we see the opening, and
Love
then
the
we're back to
opening.
the opening's so great. And then she is, banging on them pipes because she wants to open, like, which was smart. I mean, it was a smart thing. She wants to like, I like how she like used that to jettison the ship to like change directions, and I thought that was really interesting.
I mean, I
um
think it's cool, but it only achieves showing us what she's capable of. And we know that already because we've seen it already. So it still feels repetitious.
mhm.
Um, I mean, I don't know what they're trying to convey with this scene.
Jeff and Curtis, I just made you guys mods so that if weirdos come into the channel, you guys can just hide them. Just hide. Thank you. Okay. So yes, that was I mean, this whole show has been about how like she's like so smart, right? Like, and she does weird things that make her survive like this.
Well, I mean, she's showing her skill, but it's
Mhm.
like the thing I've argued all along that I love about the Belters is that this is what they do.
Mhm.
We're just seeing an individual do it.
Mhm.
And it was really cool. And seeing her change the message and everything was really cool.
Mhm.
But then I don't think we needed to see so much of it repeated in the
Mhm.
next 2 episodes.
Right. And
That's the
actually
only
now
thing.
too, so like three
Mhm.
episodes. So yeah, she sees that like Alex and them or somebody's coming close. I think she knew it was Alex, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
because it
did.
said their name. Yeah,
Mhm.
she was like, "No, my friends."
And her plan is to jump out of the ship
Hmm.
and warn them not to come near it.
Yeah, I thought
That's
that
her
was
plan.
cool.
But
With
she's so small compared to the ship. You would think her plan would have been to gather some other things that she can hold on to and form like something that's visible.
right,
Like grab some sheeting, some metal, just a bunch of little things,
That was kind
tie
of
them together.
unbelievable because the pitch black of space, like I don't know how you could see like that happen.
You
Like
can't. You really can't. That's
I,
why it should have. The only thing that would have made it more believable is if she found something that could be bigger than her
right.
and carry, even if it's a bunch of debris, like a debris field would have been visible,
Hmm.
but not just her one dot in the space, in a dark spacesuit
I
in the
think
black.
that's kind of what Gary from Nerdrotic was talking about, how they jumped the shark, because I think
Hmm.
that that's kind of what was going on with that. Yeah, see, Curtis agrees. Jane, that's a great idea. Jeff says each time Marcos kills one of her friends, it pushed Drummer closer to turning on him. Yeah, I mean, I think she had decided when she figured out uh, that Naomi was still alive and that whole thing was going on and that they were trying to hide it from her. I think when she found out that Naomi's still alive, she was like, okay, I've made my decision. It was just the episodes took too long for her to do anything.
Yeah.
That was the thing. They were
And I
kind of
mean, how
built. They
many
were building it up for the season finale for her to do something.
and how many friends does he have to kill for her to finally? I mean, at some point, he's just not going to think that she will. You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about that until you said that, Jane. Like that, she should have been more visible because she wasn't even wearing like any sort of. It wasn't even a white suit, like
No,
or she didn't even have like reflective gear on her or anything like that. So like I think that's interesting.
she should have had everything that wasn't tied down tied to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Weird.
Keith says that it was her plan to make it impossible for Alex to dock by firing that thruster. But it wasn't too impossible because he still planned to do it.
Well, he didn't care. He was like, "We've come this far. Like, we're going to get her." The only reason that he didn't go in that far is because, Bobby happened to spot her.
Hmm.
Just,
And wait. She spotted her while they were coming out of like damn near warp speed.
right.
So how? Like, how? It's
She
just not.
she said something about it too. She's like, "I barely saw it, but I saw it," and we're like,
It's just
"Really?"
it's just a spot. It just appeared.
Yeah.
Something
It was
fell off of the ship.
so dumb. So
I
dumb.
know. That's
Oh my
crazy.
god. Yeah, I think those are the things that that definitely was um you know, it just could have been done better. It could have been handled better.
Yeah,
Um
it could have been made more believable. And
mhm.
I mean the whole thing was unbelievable, but I think if they had done something to make it more realistic that she would be visible,
Mhm.
I would have bought it a little bit more. And if they did it the way it was described in the book, that would have been crazy enough that I would have bought it. Cuz apparently
What was it like in the book?
so what they say, because I haven't read it, but what they say is that Bobby actually flies on a missile to rescue her, which would be so
Mm,
insane that I would love to see.
that's interesting. That's interesting.
But otherwise, it's just kind of crazy. It's almost like she's just in the water floating, and they like in the ocean, and they spot her.
That's
One
It's like a
person.
diamond in the rough. Come on now. Hey, Krista Joe says, I'm so glad you're live streaming so I don't have to watch the Super Bowl. Apparently, it's full of propaganda. Good to see you both. Well, that's no fun.
It always
Should be,
has been. Those
yeah, but it should be
commercials,
about football, right? Like, I
it's
don't
never about football. It's always
call,
about something they're trying to push.
call me crazy, but it should be about football. Dang it.
Nope. Those ads are always about something else. And ultimately, it's about marketing. So It's not.
That's true. It is ultimately about marketing. That is
About
very
money.
true. Hey, sketch therapy. Uh,
It's a missile. That's what they say.
that's apparently that's
Wouldn't that have
crazy.
been crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. Jeff says when Bobby arrived, the whole sequence was awesome. Bobby sounds so rock solid in this scene, a real gunny. I agree. I mean, I kind of liked uh like what they did with that sequence of her going out to get her and everything like that. But what I didn't like is how they handled Alex's demise. And I'll get into that when we get
And
there. Okay.
Bobby is always really rock solid. Anything she
Yeah.
does, she just cannot be moved. And I did like that part of it. She was like, "I'm gonna go get her,"
Yeah. This
but
this was the scene where she's like sitting in the suit and she's like FML. Like this is not what I signed
this
up
is
for.
funny though.
This was great. This was great.
I love their
I really
suits, by
enjoyed
the way.
this.
I love
Yeah,
the
the suits
ships in the
is
show, and the suits are freaking amazing.
so great. I mean, all the costume design, like just everything, the panel designs, like
The
everything, and
colors.
the colors is so superior to a lot of what's going on out there right now. Okay, so this dude, freaking Ken, Ken and Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, all right, here we go. So
No.
finally,
Now, let me ask you a question.
okay,
Are these suits not bulletproof?
I don't know. I don't think they are.
Huh.
Sketch says if I can recommend one thing, I'll say don't ride missiles. Light up the emergency beacon in your suit com.
Yeah.
I see. That's the thing, though. The suit was kind of like broken or something because that's why she didn't have any air. She had nothing.
Oh,
Like that
yeah.
suit was useless. Like they had nothing going on for it. Like she was lucky she barely could get it to work to go outside. Um, but uh, Curtis says yes, to find a person in the ocean would be easier than finding a person in space in a spacesuit. Yeah, also depending
Mhm.
on where the sun is at, like,
Right.
on your angle, because if they're like on the other side or like they're further away from that light in space, then there's no fucking way you're gonna spot them. But
And
it's
how
just
did
not.
she just timed it so that the ship wasn't between her and them?
Yeah.
I mean, how fast does that ship move? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Mm-mm. Hey, Scott. No worries. We're just getting
Hello.
into it. We're not even that far in yet. We're just talking about mostly we're talking about how Naomi was able to pull off what she did and like be spotted by Bobby, which is kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because she was like in the pitch black of space. Sketch says, I don't think she could have been made that jump in the first. What? I don't think she could have made that jump that
The
first
first
one.
one.
Like when she jumped out of the ship?
Yeah, with nothing on.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course not. But like, it's just I'm saying like that suit though was like not working. Because that was her second suit, wasn't it? No, that was her first suit. I thought that was a suit she found on that ship. I'm confused now.
At least the first one, though, you're dealing with just her and her unique ability and her unique body and her little um think canister of whatever oxygenated blood, and
Mm-hmm.
they put in enough little elements, her breathing out, that
Mm-hmm.
you could suspend your disbelief.
Right.
But it's difficult to do that when she just jumps out of a ship and they are coming. It's not just that they were flying to her. They were in what G? Like, I mean, they were I can't even, I don't know the exact words, but basically coming out of hyperspace.
Right.
It wasn't that they were just, flying to her at normal speed. There's no way they should have seen her.
Kate says Bobby Draper and Cara Dune is the definition of stunning and brave women in sci-fi. Well, I don't know about Cara Dune because I've never watched The Mandalorian, but definitely Bobby Draper.
Kara
She's
is a good fighter. I think, they're very similar. Um, but Kara's a bit more rough around the edges, whereas Bobby is straight military level toughness.
Bobby is badass.
To me, she's a whole different level in many ways.
Whole other level. Liberal, hello. Thank you for being here. It says, were Bobby and Alex love interest in the books, or were Bobby and Alex love interest in the book? I thought it was building to that, but they killed him off. See that? Okay. Do we want to get into this now? Okay.
Yeah,
It
I
just
mean,
we might as
they didn't. He's not dead in the books.
he's
Now,
not
I
dead in
don't
the books.
know if I haven't read it, so I don't know if they become love interests. I know they should. They should,
We were shipping
but
them for sure. Like we were like,
definitely
okay, yeah,
they're
Bob
ballots.
Alex, Alex.
But they killed him off because the actor got into some trouble and
He
he
got
got
me too,
fired.
guys. He got me too.
Yeah. So and instead of recasting, which would have made more sense,
Which is what they should have done. They
they
should have
just killed him
recasted.
off.
They just killed
Yeah.
him off. I mean, they could have just gotten another brown guy. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
It's not.
just get another dude that looks like him. Um, but
And
like,
then we
it's
were
just
talking to you behind the scenes about how they went about it. Like if they were going to kill him, it should have been more heroic. Maybe
exactly.
why he was helping them, or because that's the other thing too. Bobby is written to where at times she's almost too perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in this scene, if they wanted to kill Alex, what they should have done was had Bobby make a mistake as she's rescuing Naomi, and then have him have to do something that ultimately gets him killed. He maybe not intentionally sacrifices himself, but he puts himself at risk to save the two of them and is killed in the process.
Right.
To
I agree
me,
with
that would
that
have been
wholeheartedly.
much, much better than
I don't
just
care what they should have done. Like this was shit. Like whatever this was unacceptable. Like it was a terrible way to go about things. I think that like they just pulled the rug from under like every fan
Mhm.
because especially if you're not aware of what's going on behind the scenes, it was a terrible death for a character that you've gotten to know for the past 5 years, like 6 years or whatever it's been. And it's like they could have just done it so that like he could have been more heroic about it. He could have jumped after her. He could have maybe had a heart attack inside the suit as he was spinning. They could have done it so that like an asteroid hits him in the helmet and like like or some sort of debris hits him and like
Mhm.
can't breathe anymore and he dies in the process of rescuing her. Anything other than him sitting there and just stroking out, and then have us not see any reaction from Bobby, who might have been a love interest. Like we think that she was crushing on him
Yes.
and they were crushing on each other or whatever. And then we get nothing, no emotional reaction.
Right.
We got like Bobby coming in with another person who needs medical attention.
Mhm.
And then like, how does she get into how does she deal with that situation? Like that is a terrible situation to face. And you're talking about
Mm.
character development. Well, there you
Right.
go. You're putting your character in this really hardcore situation and then you get no reaction.
Exactly. And yeah, that too about Bobby. I never like there was always some sort of tension between them, but I saw it more on Bobby's end. Like she liked him, but she couldn't quite express it because it goes completely against her nature to be all romantic.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been amazing to see her having lost the person that she loves
Mm-hmm.
completely break.
Yeah, like freaking show some emotion, cry, like like whatever. The next thing we see her is when she's at the party and like saying, "I'm sorry for your loss to Avasarala," and then she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry for your loss too." That's it, and she's like all
Yeah,
fake and shit, and I'm like, really? Like this is how we're gonna go about this? This is
it's
bullshit.
crazy.
This is
Insane.
bullshit. Hey, Eclay, thanks for being here. Eclay says no recasting. No, it ruined Bewitched. Uh, it's been done before though, where I've been like, I can get into this. Let me think of an example. There were examples of people that have been recast, and I was like, at
Hmm.
first you're not into it, and then you're like, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah, on the Game of Thrones, they recast what's that guy's? Danny's love
Just so
interest.
disgusting. Whose love interest?
Danny, the guy that she liked from Essos.
Oh yeah, that's true. That guy was hot. The second guy.
He was. So
He
it
was,
can be
yeah, I
done.
liked him way more than the first guy. Sketch says she called him a brave idiot. The way they laughed, cried, got me a little.
It just could
Uh,
have been more emotional,
it
I
would have
think.
been, yeah. It. I don't think it was handled well enough. Personally, it was too rushed. Like, it was. Yeah, it
So let me
happened
give you
so
an
fast.
example. In The Walking Dead, you have, let's see, Jesus, right? And
Warning: I don't know anything about The Walking Dead.
okay, so there's a character on there that everybody likes
Hmm.
called Jesus. He's
Okay.
played by Tom Payne. Well, that's his nickname because he has long hair and he kind of looks like, stereotypical Jesus or whatever.
Hmm.
And it, one season, for no reason whatsoever, they kill him, sort of similar to this. Apparently the actor wanted off the show. I don't know. But they kill him, but
Hmm.
he has an honorable death. He's actively defending his friends, but it's so sudden. And another guy on the show who was in love with him, we never get a backstory or whether they actually ever had a relationship, but you could tell there was like the
Hmm.
similar tension or whatever. Um, but his reaction to seeing his friend and love interest death
Hmm.
happen right then was the most painful thing on television that year. Like
Wow.
you could feel it watching the scene. And it was just incredibly emotional. This, not so much.
Not so much.
This is almost, it feels like he was forgotten.
I just feel like even if you don't like recasting, it's not fair for the character to be killed off because the actor did something wrong. I just don't think that it translates well, especially if he's not killed off in the books. There's no reason to kill. They still need a pilot. They still, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the group needed to be together for that final season. So, like,
And
if
now
you're,
they're, like you said, they're rearranging everything all sort of suddenly.
mhm,
So now I guess it's going to be Bull who takes
mhm.
over.
Either Bull or I'm guessing Bobby, because Bobby knows how to fly the ship too.
Yeah.
But and then now they got the other chick, Julie Mao's sister, whatever her name is.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So back to this though, Drummer finally does something with her life, which was very welcome. I was like, finally, like, damn, girl, took all season for you to do something. And then she did, and then that other dude basically took the other side. Uh, and then this chick backed up Drummer, which was nice. Like I
Yeah.
thought, like, and I kind of could see that coming because she was one of the ones that was questioning Marco's motives like the whole time.
Right. But
So
you
that
still think
that was
they all would have. I mean, this is their captain, you know?
Yeah, but they like some of them, weren't necessarily aligned with the captain. They were more aligned with what the Belters were doing and going through. And so the other dude, for example, like was always like, we're at war with the inners, like we always have been. Like he's in that same like brainwash mentality as Marco. So that's why he was like, like we have his reasons weren't so much we got to do what we got to do to survive. Whereas
Mhm.
in the other girls was like we gotta go along with this so we can survive. His was no, the fucking inners suck and we're the Belters and we should, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the
Yeah.
mentality there was totally different.
Well, and now that you put it that way, it's sort of like Drummer was acting like Holden,
She was.
you know?
It's
Forget the
true.
bigger mission, the larger picture. We got to save this one person.
Well, she was kind of, but she was also like, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna kill my friend, like, which is
Yeah,
basically Holden. I'm going to take this out with me, which thank God she did because this was a sweet freaking battle.
it
Um,
was. That was
and
cool.
it was so funny that they're like, wait a minute, these belters are like shooting at each other. That
And
was
the
cool.
way they do the space battles with the sort of twisting missile thingies,
Hmm.
that's so
So
freaking
cool. I love it.
awesome.
Like when they're like shooting out the missiles and then they shoot
Yeah.
their missiles. It's so sweet. I really enjoyed
That
that battle too.
rotation thing. And I love how they show like the missiles coming or the guns or whatever on them coming up. You can hear it. It's just mechanical and just really cool.
See, Curtis says his death will cause ripples through the coming season because he was in the books a lot. That upsets me. This is what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
that's
Like this is
crazy.
gonna leave like this is gonna make season 6 suck almost.
So this is what I wonder. I wonder, since Drummer's already a combination of a bunch of characters, are they gonna just absorb him into her too?
Well, maybe not into her, but they're gonna probably absorb her into either the Mal character or Bobby.
Hmm.
So we're gonna have like Balix anyways, but it'll
That's
be
just
like some
crazy.
freaking mutated Balix. Uh, Scott says they're so what they so weakened the drummer character. Oh my god, drummer would have killed that chick. That's
Yeah.
true.
And they
That's
didn't
true.
even let her kill her. Like she died by accident.
By accident. That was lame.
It was so stupid.
At least she died. Uh, Jeff says when drummer acts, she basically kills her husband on Marco's ship. Whose husband? Her own husband? She's married.
Well, they're all married to each other.
Oh, I see what you mean. Wow, that's kind of weird.
I
My
mean,
neighbors are throwing a party. If you're hearing some weird music, that's why.
I don't hear.
Okay, great. Um, oh, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I did. We found out last week that she was pregnant.
I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, I couldn't either. Um, that's cool. Yeah, love the battles. The battles are great.
That was the best part.
Yeah, other than the last 5 minutes.
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous.
It
Love that.
was just so weird too how they all just sort of were with each other.
It was yeah,
So
definitely very
weird.
futuristic. So there it is. They're battling. That was cool. I really like that scene. And then Naomi is like,
Struggling,
the ship is
struggling.
coming. No. What do I do? Oh no. I did all
Yeah,
this banging on the pipe for
I'm gonna
nothing.
jump. I'm gonna jump out again.
See, this is the part too that really bothered me actually when she was like, "Oh, I did all that shit for nothing." I don't like when that happens because that means that 3 episodes of her, like, that first episode of her changing
Hmm.
the code, that like, her doing all this bullshit, it was still all for nothing, and she had to
Right.
still do this. Like that.
Which
That means
means
that was a waste of fucking time.
it was our watching it was for nothing.
Yeah. And that bothers me. It bothers me that I basically watched all that for nothing. Like that's bullshit. So then she decides to take her one last leap. Here we go. I'm
And
gonna
she
leap
runs.
now. And she runs into space.
Okay, and that's the other thing. How is she still close enough to the ship to be found? Because when you jump out into space, you keep going, right?
Well, she kept going and she was like freaking rotating too. She was going nuts. And I guess the ship kept leaving
Hmm.
because
The ship is still moving
the ship was still moving.
around her
Was it
somehow.
around her? I thought it kept like going. I don't know.
I don't know. It was just very
Uh,
the physics was very bizarre.
it was. Jess says, I think some of the Alex is going to Monica Stewart. Is
Oh
that the
God. Maybe?
reporter chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't even know how to drive. Like, she doesn't know how to drive a ship.
I
She
don't
doesn't
even
know
want her
shit.
in this show. I can't stand
Get out.
I can't
Uh,
stand her.
really?
Yeah, she's so annoying.
I kind of like. I don't mind her.
Every
I
other word is protomolecule. Like, what else
why
does she do?
that would be me. I'm not even joking. I'd be like, what's happening with this proto molecule? Like, where is it? Oh my god. What's going on with the Expanse? Why are we in this stupid galaxy still? Let's go. Um, this entire Scott says this entire last 4 episodes really just destroyed the Naomi character. How strong and how much she is the engineer Scotty, and they just ruined her. I don't know about ruining her because she did so manage to do a lot of smart and interesting stuff, innovative stuff. It's just that the way they went about it was counterproductive. Like
Yeah,
having her do all that and then it meant nothing, and then she still had to jump out of a fucking spaceship. It's like, come on now. Like
yeah,
there has to be a point to everything you do. And if there's no
exactly.
point, then what the fuck are we doing here? This guy says Bobby keeps the ship, right? Alex's ship, I'm guessing.
Of
Yeah,
course.
probably. I mean, they were kind of getting involved there. I don't know. Jeff says Naomi was not going that fast and was being tracked by Bobby. Yeah, somehow she was being tracked.
Yeah, explain it.
She was in the same spin as the ship. That's what I thought too.
But
That is weird.
why she jumped out of the ship full
Uh,
speed, straight
the ship
ahead?
was moving in a circle around her.
But the ship was on a trajectory.
Yeah, the ship was on a trajectory. Wouldn't it just keep going? And then she's going the other way, like spinning and shit.
No, I think the ship was programmed to go in a circle because it had
Oh,
to stay where he put it. But she
right.
wasn't tied to any mechanics. So
No.
when she jumped out forward, she should have kept going forward, right?
So yeah, I mean, I would assume so. In space, you just keep going. Like there's no
So
like you don't go up or you don't go
she
down.
either would have hit the ship again. She either would have bounced right back into the ship when it came back around, or she would have gone past the ship. Like
Right.
it doesn't make any sense.
Curtis says she was moving away and in the same spin as the ship.
It shouldn't have.
Why do
How is
they have to make
she
it
in
so
a
fucking
spin?
complicated? This is
How
stupid.
is she in a spin? She couldn't put herself in a spin because there's nothing pushing her. Y'all know this doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying. I'm like that. I'm like that GIF right now. That like that chick that's like trying to solve that math equation. And like how the fuck? Like no.
See, exactly. Jimmy said it. If she jumps out of a spinning ship, she just flies off into space. She wouldn't go behind the ship or with the ship or within the ship doesn't
That's
have its own independent gravity circle.
that's
It's
what
not
that's
holding
what I
her
think.
there.
She would just go straight.
No, Scott. She couldn't be trapped in there's no gravity. The ship
There was
isn't
no
a gravity
gravity.
point.
Uh, she put it into a spin, firing that thruster.
The ship, right? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I get the ship. I understand what the ship is doing. It's fine. My problem is that when she jumped out of the ship, she's only going in one direction.
Hey, Vistera says Naomi should have died, not Alex. I'm still in disbelief. So here's the neither should have died because neither dies in the book. The reason that he died in this episode is only because the actor got Me Too'd in real life and they had to get rid of him and they did it rushed because I am like totally thinking that they had a different ending and they had to reshoot that whole scene. That's why we got no reaction from Bobby. That's why we had like it just didn't make sense. That entire segment didn't make sense.
Right.
Uh, I'm totally in the under the impression that they reshot that whole thing,
And
which
y'all know how in every other space movie, one of the most frightening things is when someone becomes untethered from the ship they're on,
Yes. Yes.
they keep floating out into space in
Yes,
every
exactly.
other movie, right?
Even in this, remember when Balix was
Yeah.
like doing that jump
Mhm.
and then he was about to miss the thing and
Yeah.
then Bobby was like all scared and she's like, oh my god, like you better grab it because they're like, if you go, you're gone, like
Yeah.
it's over. See, there she is,
Exactly.
she's going and she's spinning, though I don't get why she's spinning.
Curtis says he's gonna contact NASA. Yeah, let us know.
But then there's Bobby like spotting her for no fucking reason whatsoever.
Because if you're gonna stay with the ship, then there's no point of being afraid of becoming detached from your ship.
Somehow she sees her doing these fucking signals. That's the other thing too. Like
Oh
how
god.
do you see her do the signals?
She zoomed in her great camera work, I guess. I don't
Oh my god, that camera's insane.
know.
So she's floating and doing
She's like, "Where
signals,
are you? Where are you? Where are you?" She couldn't see them.
and then she comes and rescues her. This is the scene I'm talking about. This should have been, in my opinion, if they're gonna kill that dude off, this should have been Alex. Alex should be the one out here, and something happens to them. And then, of course, we get this fucking scene, which was total bullshit. I don't care what anyone says. This was the worst, one of the worst absolute deaths of a character in a series. I'm completely. They couldn't have even killed him in combat. Like, dude, he should have like sacrificed himself or something. This is bullshit.
Yeah, and then the way they shot it too.
I have an article actually that here, let me see if I can pull it up because apparently somebody did talk to NASA about the reality of the expanse. And there's an article about it. And I was meaning to read it. And then I was like, maybe we'll read it together. Let me just pull it up here. But I don't know if they're counting this season as one of them, though, because in every
Yeah.
other, like in every other season, it's been very realistic. This is one of the only seasons that hasn't quite been on par with the other seasons, I think.
Yeah, and I still say if they wanted to kill him, they just could have done it in a more heroic manner.
Exactly. Or not kill him at all
Bobby
and just
warned
recast
him
the
that
damn
he would stroke out, but he didn't have
thing.
to.
Yeah, so the article is called "We Asked a Bay Area Astrophysicist If Amazon's Sci-Fi Hit The Expanse Is Realistic." So we can read this after, just for fun. Um, but yeah, so I just this was a fucking terrible death.
Oh,
And
and
then like this scene, this is what I'm talking about here.
yeah,
You don't get an approach from the characters. Like you're still seeing, like you're still hearing them going, Alex, Alex, like in the thing, and then you have this. I didn't even understand what was going on. I had to rewind to like make sure that this happened because I was like, there's
hmm
no fucking way they killed him off like this. And so you have like these things going off in the scene, and then he's dead, and so you don't get a reaction from Bobby. You don't see how they got into the ship because
right,
she's carrying an injured Naomi. That Naomi's barely able to stand. I always actually thought too that this whole thing was really funny anyway because they only had 2 seats.
yeah.
So I was like, where the fuck's Naomi gonna go? Because they don't really have
She
a
can
med bay in the ship.
she can hang on. Well, no, what probably happened? Bobby has simply held on before with
That's
brute
true. So
strength,
Bobby would probably
so
just,
yeah,
yeah,
she would just give her the seat.
that's true. That's true. But they in this case they were like, Alex is gonna go anyway, so you got a seat, Naomi. It's just like this whole thing. Like we didn't get a reaction. We got nothing, and I was like, this is bullshit. I really dislike that scene.
Yeah.
And then you have these cool guys again in space. You have this dude becoming all emotionless and shit. uh, Marco's finding out that he's being betrayed, so he basically kills this dude because that's from Drummer's ship,
Mm-hmm.
and then he tells little Marcos Jr., Philip, about how he's being betrayed, and he has like very little feeling about it. Like he was like,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, it doesn't change your goal. Like who cares? People are gonna betray you, whatever. Um, and he was all proud that like his
Yeah.
son is turning into a fucking psycho, which what I
Yes.
thought was interesting. What'd
That's
you
what he
think of
wanted.
this?
That's what he wanted. He wants his son to be an emotionless drone. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what he's being for him. But I still get a sense that Philippe isn't completely Marco yet. There's still something of Naomi in him and what she said. I mean, she planted the seed. It's there now.
Yeah,
Um,
she did. She did.
so I don't think he's entirely buying in, but he knows what his dad wants to hear. And I think now he's starting to play the game. Now, whether he'll completely adopt this persona, because it will become more real for him over time. But for now, I think he's just playing it for
Sketch
Marco.
says I would have preferred combat death. Me too, man.
Yeah.
Me too. That's what I'm saying. Like that death needed to be more. That was bullshit.
I would have been okay with him
Yeah.
getting hit by an asteroid or something.
Yeah, I would have been okay with that too. But that's like at least an active death. Like
Hmm.
you're not just gonna kill you off in your fucking seat, and have like your blood just float away and the oh, God, what a fucking waste. That was bullshit.
Lifeless eyes.
Jess says I was trying to synchronize with bomb ship. Alex strokes out. He is an old guy with a lot of city miles.
Old guy.
Dude was like 30, man. This is bullshit.
How old is Alex? Let's see.
Well, man, I don't know how old he is in the books, but in the series, he looks like a 30-year-old guy. He doesn't look that old. Maybe
Yeah.
35.
Okay, Cass Anvar.
Bobby did warn him he'd stroke out. This is
Oh
all
well.
written.
Cass is actually 54.
What?
Brown doesn't crack.
54. Wait,
54.
like the actor? He's
Yes.
54?
Yes.
What? Dude, that guy looks amazing for 54.
No wonder he was.
I thought he was younger than me. I'm saying he's 30. And I'm like 36. Jeez.
I was thinking 34 to 36, yeah, but no.
Yeah, I thought he was in his 30s, man. Wow.
No.
Still.
54.
What about like the character though? How old is Alex supposed to be?
I don't know.
Not old enough to stroke out. Curtis says, remember the proximity bombs shouldn't they have detonated when she went out the door? I was thinking that too. I was like, what's up with this whole I thought they were supposed to blow up if anything came in the sensors. Why wasn't she being sensed as something approaching or being near the ship? I didn't get that.
That's a good point. She should have been. That's the other thing. Now maybe it was because she was inside the rotation instead of outside of it, but
see, originally when she jumped out, I thought that she was basically not committing suicide, but sacrificing herself to blow up the ship so that they don't come near and then they get blown up. I thought she was sacrificing herself at first. And then I was like, wait, what's she doing? What?
That's one way this could have ended. But I do think that she was still inside the rotation of the ship, and maybe that's why, because she wasn't technically approaching it.
Mm-hmm.
It was going around her, which again didn't make sense because she should have gotten out. She should have been pushed outside the rotation of the ship, and then the ship should have blown up.
Right, that's what I'm thinking too. Jeff says, remember the Belter scratching his nose scene early on? Which scene was that? I don't remember that. In this episode? Who's scratching their nose? Are they doing coke? I don't know. Jane, do you know what he's talking about?
I have no idea.
Jeff, give me more hints here. RMR, hello. Thank you for being here. It says Naomi in space without a spacesuit was unbelievable. But she was wearing a spacesuit, wasn't she? That was a
I think you said
spacesuit.
about the first time.
Oh. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it was weird.
Everyone's talking about they look younger in the chat. Well, maybe people aren't aging the way they used to back in the day. Everyone's younger looking.
Yeah, 50s is the new 30s now. It's true.
Apparently.
See, there
Yeah.
you go. Curtis says I'm 52 and I look like I'm in my 30s. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, Curtis. That's a
Mhm.
really nice icon. Just saying.
Wow.
Amazing. Amazing. His wife took that photo, Jane.
Oh, really?
Magnificent.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
She's got good taste. Will Gentry, hello, says Super Bowl Brady. Woo! Sure.
I only ever watch for the commercials. So.
I don't ever watch it even for the commercials. I just watch the commercials later on YouTube because that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And then I just skip the ones that are stupid. People are talking about ages. Yeah, it's Alex is old in the books, bald and fat.
Well, that wouldn't have worked on here.
No.
I also read that he was
Definitely not.
Chinese, which is interesting.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing a Chinese Alex, but maybe a hot Chinese guy. That would have been cool.
That would have been a good recast. Cast him with the actual ethnic whatever.
There
background.
you go. See, Jane. And then hashtag diversity.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been perfect.
Yep.
Sketch says, no, she doesn't have the magnetic mass of a ship.
Exactly.
No.
So no gravity pull.
Jeff says the sensors were geared to a ship the size of the Rocinante.
Well, then
Okay.
why was she so afraid of Bobby's ship then?
Yeah, because isn't Bobby's ship way smaller?
Teeny tiny little ship.
That's like a shuttle compared to the Rocinante.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that I don't know about that. We need more clarity on this, Jeff. Belters are more blaze about the raw vacuum. That's true. I mean, they're belters.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Their physiology is different. So they may be able to do some things that regular humans can't.
Sketch says she knew she was the point, and she wanted the ship to not blow up. There is probably a magnetic mass sensor that would hold off. He says "hoe off," but that's funny. Anything with a magnetic mass of the ship comes close. Maybe. I don't know, man.
That would make more sense.
I mean, I kind of get that because if then there's like any sort of debris or something, it's not setting the bomb off. Like there has to be some sort of like, know
something
what I mean.
The size of a shuttle or bigger.
Yes, I would assume.
But then they could have also if that's the case, just sent a person in to the ship to get her. Like, why couldn't she go outside the ship and write on the ship an SOS or some message or something? Like, meet me as a person, or don't fly in, walk in. Something.
She was doing the signs.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have.
I don't have a baseball cap. She's like doing baseball cap, like, don't come for home. Not a home run. I don't know.
Yeah, so apparently the Belters have their own sign language.
Yeah, it's like the old baseball signals. Like, no, not a home run. Get out of here. Jeff Beeler says Alex does a lot of high G runs and is older than the rest of the crew. Uh, that's interesting. And this is why I'm kind of really looking forward to reading the books now because they
Yeah.
fucking shat the bed on this season with his character. So I feel like now it's going to be fun to read the books and understand the details and the nuances of that character, but also it's going to piss me off about the season even more. I'm going to be like, how dare you? Because it's fun to have um you know, it's fun to have like that character. Like I wouldn't have minded an old fat Chinese guy being Alex from the beginning. I'm not even gonna lie, because that makes it more interesting because it makes the characters more real. Whereas
Hmm.
when they had this really hot, like, you know, brown guy, you know, while that's great and all, I like that they would have somebody else in an older age range and showing us that, you know, that that would be possible. If they had that, the dude stroking out would not have been as unbelievable because he's old and, like, you know, you'd be like, well, like, you know, he's done a lot of stuff and his heart just gave out. Like,
But see, I'm more
huh,
superficial. I don't want to see real people on the screen.
okay,
I
that's
want to
fair.
see, the hot, strong, heroic guy. So if that's what Alex is, if that's how you've painted him, then his death should fit that. It shouldn't fit the old fat guy
Mm,
who
that's
is
true.
not the person that we see.
Keith says no. Alex is not Chinese in the books. Well,
Isn't
I'm
it?
gonna have to read the books now. I don't know what's going on with his ethnicity.
That's what's
Maybe
maybe not.
maybe not. Okay. RMR says I wish Holden was hotter. Um, sure. I I mean, I kind of like him. He's cute. Uh, I mean, those are all. That's very superficial. I don't know. He, yeah, he could have been hotter. Sure, why not? There's hotter actors. Um, who do people want to see as the new pilot of the Rocinante? Bull, Clarissa, or Bobby? My vote is Bobby. At least she has, like, you know, a role in all of it.
Bobby is awesome. I could definitely see that. But at the same time, she is working with Avasarala,
It's true.
and she may have a different mission that pulls her away.
That's also
Because I
true.
mean, they're trying to investigate the Martians and all that. So
Curtis says, "I believe Bull is there to take the place of Cass Bar," and I'm starting to think that's the case. I'm starting to
probably.
think that's the case. Um, the other thing, though, is actually, let's rethink this for a second because, okay, after this happens, and they find out that Drummer basically like betrayed them, Drummer and them are still there. So maybe Drummer is going to become part of the Rocinante crew because now they're alone. What
Um.
about Ross? What about them?
So I don't know what to expect now with Drummer. Um. Keith says that Drummer should end up running Tycho Station. I think that would fit.
I think that would fit too.
Yeah, that would suit her. Um, and maybe ultimately she builds a rival faction to go up against Marco on equal footing.
That would be great. Sketch, no, he wasn't. He only got killed off on the show because he got Me Too'd in real life. That's what happened. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I want her to take, I kind of wanted her to take over Tycho Station because she was best friends with, like, not best friends, but very good friends with, you know who I'm talking about, the dude that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name again? Frank.
Yeah, Frank Johnson.
Frank Johnson, and the other guy who, you know, helped develop Tycho Station. So like I think that she should be the rightful like leader for that station. I like Bull. Bobby staying behind on Luna? Uh, we
I
don't
would
know yet. We don't know what's going to happen now that basically the Belters have taken over the other side of the gate, or our side of the gate, well, Marco, I think that's going to be the next thing, right? They're like, the Earth is going to want to take that side back. So
Mhm.
I'm guessing that Bobby's going to be sent on missions to do that.
Well, I think my theory with Bobby is that she's going to be part of finding out what the Martians are doing. So maybe that's her wheelhouse.
Right.
And Drummer is the one who's tasked with, you know, gathering together the Belters who aren't on Marco's team, those who want to
Right.
align um, with the Allied forces, so to speak. And in the midst of their fight, we get the real threat to humanity rearing its ugly head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And Will, yes, she's still there. And her name is Bobby Draper.
Well,
Oh well. So this scene though, I gotta say, honestly, this scene was fucking annoying for me. I don't know how you felt about it, but I didn't like that. First of all, they were like, oh, well, this scene just dragged on way too long because they go back and forth with this, right? Like, because now she's just like looking at Avasarala's, uh, you know, speech about
yeah.
her becoming the general again. And then she asks Bobby about, what her theory is with the missiles and the, whatever. And then meanwhile, they're talking, and then they're talking about Alex's death and how he's going to be like memorialized and he's going to be a hero and like all this shit. And then she plays that recording for him, which I thought was really weird and
Hmm.
morbid. I was like, well, you're not dead. So why don't you just talk to him?
Yeah.
Like it was
And he
really
said he didn't want to hear it.
yeah,
Like,
he said he didn't want to hear it, and then she ends up playing this fucking long ass recording, which I was like, it's the final episode, and you're sitting here talking about this bullshit for 10 minutes. Like, come on, let's
yeah,
go.
it's so stupid. And I didn't like too how she here in this scene, she looks so like weak, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then in the same episode, I don't know if there's a flash forward in time, but by the end, she's fine.
Yeah, she was fine. There was no scarring. There was nothing.
What happened?
Like how much time passed is what I want to know. Because they were like, yeah, because he was saying we're gonna go to Luna, and she was like, well, they're gonna arrest me. And then he was like, no, you're gonna be like, she's gonna pardon you. Like Avasarala is gonna pardon you because you know everything about the Free Navy. You were a prisoner, which is all valid, all good, great. But then, so they go to Luna, but how long does it take them to get to Luna? Because that's in that amount of time, she's perfect.
Yeah,
Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. So like what? A week? It must have been less than a week because they were already on their way to the gate. Like Marco and
hmm,
them went to the gate. Like I don't know how long the travel time is taking here because
this threw me off completely. I have no idea now.
oh my
And
god,
like you
this scene
said,
was
this took way too long.
look how long this scene is. Look, like it starts here. Okay. This is where it starts. So talk about Alex. Okay, fine and well. They're okay. Then they cut to these guys. Then they're still talking, 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 talking. She plays that freaking video. They're still talking about it. Oh my God, who cares? Oh my God. This was like 5 to 10 minutes of the episode just gone. And then they get to the good stuff. Because this is actually important to what's going on.
Right.
So then let me just check with the chat first. This was so stupid. Well, I'm sorry. This episode just got to me so
And they
many
should have
times. I
said
was like,
something.
what?
Like people are talking about how long it takes to get to Luna, but they should have said something to make it make sense because she literally is terrible looking and, dehydrated and bruised up 1 minute, burned. Remember, she was burned. I mean,
She
what does
was
it
burned. She had like,
take
and that's what they
technology?
said. Like, they even commented on it. She has radiation burns It's like radiation burns take a while to like recover from unless you have like Star Trek style medical bay, which they
Do
do
they?
not. Okay, like they do. It's like it's a worse than a third degree burn. It's like it's pretty bad. Like and it leaves scar tissue. Um,
Mm.
so like
But she
it's
appears perfect.
she was perfect. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, it did. I'm sorry, Scott, but you're right. The entire scene seemed so artificial and contrived. It really did. I was like, what is this? And then they had like her play that whole such a waste. Jeff says Mars is bleeding population to the new planets. People it in cannot afford to lose if they want to keep terraforming, not just the Lacanau colony.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
true.
now we're learning that, there may be all those people, which raises another question, which we'll get to at the end.
Yes, Will. She still has a cute tushy. Um, Sketch says, as fat, as far as I know, Bobby has her own ship and a warehouse full of weapons that Avasarala paid for. That's true. She does
Yeah.
have a lot of weapons and her own ship.
Hmm.
But I don't think she cares about her own ship all that much. Because like I mean, I think she wants to be part of the Rosinante crew, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think
Maybe
I
she
think you're right, but maybe after she's done what needs to be done with the Martians.
right.
Because I
Well,
mean,
and
what
she's
other
gonna find
Martians?
out now that the Martians have gone to the other side, so she's gonna want to go after them or figure
Exactly.
out what happened to them.
Hmm.
Jimmy says, "Gotta go." Yeah, no worries. Thank you so much. And no, thank you for the help. I appreciate it, Jimmy. And we'll see you again next time. Thanks for stopping by. Um, Sketch says, because she still can't say it with her mouth. I don't get it. Either she should just say, I love you, or maybe Marvis messed up that word combo for her. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's still alive. She's like, I'm going to play you my recording that I made just in case I died, but I'm alive. But I'm going
Yeah,
to play it for you. It makes no sense.
made no sense.
And he's like, I didn't want to hear it because I didn't want to like think about you being gone. And she's like, you're gonna listen to it anyway. Like, what the fuck?
So now is she gonna make a new recording for the next time?
Yeah, she is. Jeff says that Rocinante will become the ship that Bobby uses to get around. It takes a while to get from beyond the belt to Luna. That's what I thought too. But I mean, how long? And is that enough time for like her to be completely healed, like Naomi to be healed from radiation burns and possibly like almost collapsed lungs and like just she was not in good shape. Okay, like dehydration, sure, I can see her getting over that fast because you just a couple of IVs, you're good to go, right? But like radiation burns and almost collapsed lung, like she went through way more in the previous season when she was getting ready to go down to the planet. Remember, like she was
Right.
like she went through way like all this stuff, and then like coming off that planet she went through like all this stuff, and that showed like so much of a recovery time, whereas in this time it was like, here's 5 minutes of recovery time and you're fine.
And the thing too is people are talking about the medical
It's
care
so
they have in this universe, but they're on the ship. It's not like they're on a planet where they would have access to the best medical care.
Mhm.
They're on the Rossi. So
Yeah,
how good could it be?
it wasn't that like not that great either
They would
because
have the basics, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a warship, so they didn't really have like it's not a medical ship, or like it's not a citizenship where like they have to have the top of the line stuff. Maybe they got some stuff though because they did stop by the Tycho station for a while, so maybe they upgraded. I don't know. Curtis says the best scene was with Amos and Holden. I did really like
I
that scene too.
I hated that scene.
Really? You did?
Yes, I
Okay, we'll talk about
did.
it when we get there because that was funny, in my opinion. I mean, when he threatened him, it was funny. Um, so yeah, so these guys do something with their lives. Uh,
They have a purpose.
They have a purpose. And they see this chick's all, oh my god, they killed him. Like we didn't know that was gonna happen. Oh my god, no, he did. Bye. And he's so evil. And then so then they that was kind of cute scene though, where that chick was like hugging that guy, this chick,
Mhm.
and she's hugging that guy, and then he still was like, I'm leaving. Bye, bitch. That was mean. And then this dude decides to stay, which was cool. I like that he decided to stay.
Yeah, he's the ride or die.
Yeah. And you know what? Fuck you. Go away. But you know what though? Like this chick and that
Yeah.
dude are dumb because at this point, your ship is seen to have basically what's the word? Betray Marco.
Yeah.
He's not the type to be like, oh, you guys didn't mean to betray me.
No.
Sure, come on into the fold. He's gonna kill you the second he sees you. He's not one of
She
those people.
is dead.
Yeah, they're both dead. Like they should have just stayed because at that point, they're not gonna be like Marco's not gonna be like, oh, you didn't mean to side with like drummer. Okay, sure, come on in. Like let's
And
be a happy family.
even more so, the fact that you stabbed your own captain in the back, he's gonna kill you for that. I
Yeah,
mean, you're gonna die either way for any reason. It was never gonna, and I do think this scene too dragged out for too long because once they decided to leave, that should have been it.
yeah.
Instead, they
Bye.
have Drummer running behind her, like trying to convince her to come back like some sick puppy.
I'd be like bye, Felicia.
It,
Uh,
Drummer should have killed them both.
could she have new support to become leader of Mars? Ooh, that's a good question. I
Who?
don't know about that.
Bobby?
Because yeah, Bobby.
Mm,
Because she's still known and like not very much liked on Mars because they think that she's like sided with the Earthers and stuff like that. So I don't know if she has enough support to become the leader of Mars. Not
yeah, I don't think
yet.
so. And I don't think she would want to be a leader of anything.
Yeah, she's very
Bobby's a
much.
soldier.
Yeah, she's a soul. She's a fighter. She's not a politician. Um, Scott, remember Bobby was only a sergeant, so no way everyone on Mars could support that. Yeah, that's what I think too. Um, yes, thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Why don't I have that clip?
Well, Miller was integral to the story.
I freaking love Miller. I'm so pissed that he's like we haven't seen him at all this season. They were like, we have a portal molecule. I was like, come on, Miller. Come on. Nothing happened with Miller. I'm so pissed.
Yeah.
That's going to be next season. I'm sure he's going to come back next
Yeah,
season.
yeah, I'm sure.
Um, I have Sketch says I haven't seen many med kids used. I can't gauge how they'd handle this kind of flesh wound. I think it would scar. Exactly. I think it would scar. And not just that, none of them are medical people. Like Holden he's not a freaking medical doctor. Nobody on that ship was a medical doctor. They were all just,
Mhm.
kind of doing their thing. Jane Curtis is sad that you didn't like that. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, they hinted at Miller coming back when they mentioned
I hope
bringing
so.
him back, and Holden was like, "No," so you know he will be.
I think he's gonna be. He was integral to the story, which should have been in the season. This season was a wash. Okay. Here we go. Amos. This was funny, by the way, when oh my God, that was like when he dropped that whiskey bottle. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? All you earthers or like these lunar people are freaking useless. That thing dropped so slow.
Yeah,
Like no one could catch that freaking bottle. Like I was
no
like,
one
what?
cared.
And then the other thing about it too is like I wonder what the symbolism was that of that was. Was that a symbolic thing? Because I didn't get the point. I
It
was
may
like,
have been. I think it was also sort of a cool thing they do on this planet or this rock. Um, we've seen it before with Avasarala pouring the liquor.
uh-huh.
Just showing the sort of the physics of it was kind of cool. But it is probably also symbolic of him cutting ties with that part of his life, maybe, finally.
Maybe. But we get they say goodbye.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be sad to see what was his name? Not Timmy. Timmy's this
Scott.
guy.
Oh no,
Eric.
Eric. I'm sorry.
Eric. I'm gonna be sad to see Eric go. Actually, I kind of liked him as a character. Not.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah. I like probably one of the only characters I really liked in this season was Eric.
Eric, yeah, Eric was kind of like the audience in some scenes.
And minus his decision not to kill those guys. Other than that,
He was listening to his brother.
he should have killed those guys. I would have killed them.
Yeah,
Uh,
easily.
easily, not even a question. I'd be like, bitch, I got the guns here.
Yeah. Like,
Uh,
this is my crew.
yeah, man. It looked like
Was it
nice.
was it whiskey or was it the tequila?
It
I
was the
can't remember.
tequila.
Okay.
It was that really nice tequila bottle that they just broke for no reason.
Yeah.
Um, I want to see Eric in season 6, maybe part of a Vassaralis team. That would be
Mhm.
cool. That
Mhm.
would be cool. I really would like that as well.
They could bring him
Um,
back.
they could definitely bring him back. I mean, he's on Luna now.
Mhm.
Miller should have been in the scene with the protomolecule, and Holden, the actor, did direct an episode.
Oh.
That's interesting. I didn't know about him directing an episode, but I do.
No.
Yeah, he should have been with the protomolecule thing. That would have been cool. Uh, Sketch says Eric will be freelance. Merc might be used by both Avasarala and Mars. I doubt he'd work for Belters, but money is money. Yeah, I can see him working for Earth way more than Mars. He's definitely an Earther.
Yeah.
He's not gonna switch sides. And
No.
he's pissed at what they did to Earth. So he's gonna be like, you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see him.
I think you have a point there. I think this is probably going to be Avasarala's man. I think he's by bringing him there, he's adding to her group
I think so
or
too.
her team.
And he's gonna be kind of like a connection between her and Timmy
Mm-hmm.
Amos. This was a cute scene.
Curtis said when that tequila hit the deck, a tear went down my face.
Yeah, me too, man. I was like, seriously? Like
Good
all you
alcohol.
people are useless. Like you couldn't catch that bottle. That thing was like spinning down like for 15 minutes. And they're like, heads up, please. Guys, I want to catch it. Nobody cares. It's like, oh my God. No wonder you guys got freaking asteroided. I know, right? It's bullshit. So yeah, this scene is what I thought this was sweet. This was sweet when
Mm-hmm.
she hugged him and he was like, "Oh, hello, I'm back." Oh, look at that. That's sweet.
I just
And
hate that he missed everything.
he missed everything. And then she's like, "Oh, by the way, like I know you and Alex were close." Like yeah, they were close. They were like almost best friends. Like he got along with Alex more than he got along with Holden. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was definitely very good friends with Alex. And then we don't like we again barely see any reaction. Mind you, he's not a reaction guy, but still like we don't really get any sort of reaction about him like finding out about his death or anything like that. Nothing. Like we get nothing.
Nothing.
And then
And there
he's
could
like,
have been, had
there,
they not dropped the alcohol, that could have been a scene of him drinking and
thank you.
remembering
Yeah.
Alex.
Yeah, maybe Timmy. Maybe we could have had an actual like emotional scene about him and Alex and like finding out that Alex passed away.
Him and
But no,
Bobby.
yeah, and Bobby too. But no, we had to see a freaking bottle smash. Okay then. So this scene is what Curtis was talking about earlier, where
Yeah.
he's like, I need to see you. And then he talks to him about how, like, remember before where I told you that I would, like, F you up if you did this or whatever. And he's like, yeah, like, but we're bros now. Don't worry. Like, we've come a long way. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm going to have this chick come on board. And he's like, say what? And so why'd you not like the scene?
So I felt it was completely unnecessary, first of all.
Hmm.
Sort of a waste of time. But I also didn't like how he felt he had to use comedy or dishonesty to get her on board.
Hmm.
It just would have made more sense to not have her be a surprise.
I
Because
think it would have.
clearly he knew she was around, right?
I think it would have been more to the character to like because he was like, remember when we did this and then like whatever, and he was like, yeah, like you now we're not like that anymore, we're bros or whatever. I think it would have been just way more to the character if he was straight up like, by the way, I ran into this chick, like Julie Mao's sister on Earth. We've been through hell. She's coming with us. Like literally, like 3 words, or like she's coming with us. Well, like welcome your new crewmate. Like there's
So
like,
exactly.
you know what I mean? Like he's really straight to the point.
He
Amos.
tells people what he's doing.
Exactly. Like that would have been way more closer to the character than like all the stuff he said to him. I was like, what? I liked his reaction. It was very penetrating. He deduced. He blamed himself, herself, and sought to unburden her of guilt. I found his coldness heartwarming. It was intuitive and uncomfort the living. Yeah, I mean, like I liked his reaction to Naomi because he's not an emotional person. He doesn't even know what emotions are, so he has to like because he's that psychopathic kind of like fake it till you make it kind of person. So he had to fake that emotion, but at the same time, we know that he does feel loyalty to his crew, which is Naomi, Alex, and to an extent Holden, because he didn't used to like Holden at
But
all. It
see,
was
if that's the case, if he's still this unemotional person, then why is he being emotional in this scene? Because that's what it was.
with Naomi or with
With
Holden,
Holden. With
right?
Holden.
Yeah,
It's
it was weird. He was trying to use emotional manipulation, but it
Mhm.
made no sense because
Right.
it was like he's so much more straight up than that. I would be like, dude, I've been through hell on earth. This chick's coming with us. Now I'm going to
Or
get
he
some.
says, I'd explain later. Like she's with us, that's it, the end.
Yeah, the end. Yeah, totally. Scott says it seems like as if they reshot this episode from when Alex was killed off. Exactly. I think it is, and it feels so disjointed leading up to Luna before the attack at the ring. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think they reshot the episode. Um, Amos is too lacking social skills to do that to do it any to do it that way. I think that's why I think he would just be like, "I'm doing this. Bye. I'll explain later." Or she's here now.
And knowing how Amos is, no one would have questioned it.
Nope. I like his look though. He's like, "What the fuck? This bitch? Seriously? All
And what
right."
happened to her? She looks so different.
She cleaned up. Then they had this
Mm-hmm.
shot. Uh, thanks. That's what we get from Alex. Some fucking plaque. I hate you. This episode. Then we jump to what is
Now,
seems to be several weeks later. I like the stress though, I will admit.
but again,
Uh,
how was she in perfect condition?
but she's perfect now. There was nothing wrong with her. No scars. I would have at least dealt with some scarring on her face or something. Nothing. Maybe an eye patch, like maybe she did blow an eye socket out or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Anything, but nothing. She's perfect. He's drinking, great. They're schmoozing, having fun. Um, then this chick comes over and tells them about the proto-molecule. This scene was the scene. This is when we see Bobby next. So after all that bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
this is when we see Bobby. Bobby just comes up to Avasarala, very, unemotionally says, I'm sorry for your loss. And Avasarala is just like, yeah, me too. Sorry about your buddy. And she's like, yeah, I guess that's it. That's
I
what we
love
get.
how I love how in the scene Bobby looks so much bigger
Hmm.
than everyone. It's like that.
True.
It's almost like
Especially
they're going back.
Avasarala.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like they're going back to the whole Martians are different thing. I like
Yeah,
that.
that was great. I mean, I love her too. I wish we had gotten more of her in this season. I feel like she was missing a lot in this season.
Mhm.
Um, like it took her so long to become the freaking leader again. Um,
Mhm.
that whole dude could have been skipped over. So then I really liked her outfit though. You don't really see Naomi dressed up all that much, so it was kind of nice to see her dressed up. Then they're just like, talking, and then she gives this really nice speech about how like basically unity is what will win the war against Marcos, because Marcos wants to divide everyone and
Mhm.
unity will, unite everyone. And this is what they have to kind of like teach everyone, that we can all kind of get along, and have this be our life and like basically change our perception of things so that Jeff says space medicine, so that we can like, be division through unity. And I thought that was a really cool speech.
Mhm.
And I agree with her. But uh, Marcos has other plans.
Mhm.
So then we get to the good part. This is basically when the episode got really good. Um, so then you have father and son going at the freaking gate finally. They're told about the molecule and how it ended up. Like that girl thought the entire time, and she was telling Holden,
Mhm.
like, dude, it hasn't been destroyed. It hasn't been destroyed. And he was like, let's go get Naomi, guys. Uh, no, no, like, no, the Martians have it. The Martians have it. Damn it, Holden, you're an idiot. So then they go, and guess what? Oh, they're going for the gate. We finally see the Expanse gate after the entire season. I'm trying to get
Mhm.
a shot of this fucking. Uh, this is what the show is called, guys. This is what the show is based on. The Expanse. And we see it after the entire season. I think we saw it in episode 1, and then nothing. Then we went to Belters versus fucking Marsers versus Earthers for the entire
Mhm.
season. Uh, Eating a knife in the darkness was my favorite line.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good line. Monica Stewart makes Bobby really look like a giant. Yeah, Monica Stewart's tiny.
Mhm.
Uh, the auto doc is a miracle worker. Frankie Adams looks so good here. Very good.
Mhm.
It was truly a slow. It was truly slow roll in getting Nasty back in the leader. Yep, yep.
It was slow to a point, but when they did it, it was also rushed. It was very bizarre to me. It's like overnight the guy was out and she was in.
You out, you in. Let's go. The entire situation seemed like we had to go back over why and what Avasarala is when we already know how badass
Mhm.
she is, a leader. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This
A lot of
whole season
repetition.
was a redo, like of the last the last few, first two seasons. This was a
Mhm.
season 1 and 2 mix. Actually, no, not really. Season 2 and 3 mix, because season 1 was a gem. Like it was like
Oh yeah.
something out of this, like out of everything else. I love that season with the murder
Mhm.
mystery and the whole, just everything was so good about it. They let her be pretty. I like it when they let them be pretty. The war against pretty must off. Yeah, I
I
agree.
agree.
It was nice to see her in a nice dress. That was great. So then we go back to this finally, the Expanse, and the Earthers are like, oh my god, what's happening?
You're my nerd.
There it is. There's the gate. Uh, oh my God. This is what we've been looking for. Uh, and this is the entire like the season too. I was like, is this what they want to do? Like, are they like, is that their ultimate goal was to control the gate? Like, like because that's the only thing that's the most power other than the proto molecule, the most
Right.
powerful thing now is controlling the gate
Hmm.
and going through the gate and being able to expand and like not be on planets. That's the whole thing.
Well,
That's
that's what
what
Marco said. He wanted the inners to remain inners, and
Mhm.
everything beyond the belt is theirs.
Yeah, but like if they want the inners can be inners and then just like never like leave the galaxy. Like
Hmm.
dude, like this guy's you know,
Stay on your planets.
yeah, but he's a little greedy. Like there's like millions of galaxies, man. Like we can all share. There's enough
No.
planets for all of us. Uh Keith is leaving. Bye Keith. Take care.
Bye.
Um but yeah, there he is. Have a great week.
You too.
So this was a cool scene though. I liked how I mean they just owned this situation.
Wow. Look
They
at
just
that.
yeah, took it out. Like just it was like nothing for them. They were like, "Okay, bye. We're just going to destroy you." And then they did. And then again, you see this scene with them chanting Marcos and him
Hmm.
being like, "Oh, my dad is king." Like, like
Hmm.
this is what this is all about. I want to be king someday. I think that's what he's thinking.
And you've created someone who is devoid of emotion, if he's really buying into it, who wants your spot.
Yeah,
I mean, if he has no emotion, that means he doesn't care for you either.
exactly. So then they go and the Earthers just seem like a bunch of idiots at this point because they're like, "Oh my god, what? They took the gate. Oh no." Yeah, they did,
Hmm.
and it was this dude the whole time. Like we thought,
Surprise.
surprise, not really. And it was him and his assistant, which I thought that the other thing that was kind of weird about it, actually, was the whole bracelet thing. I was like, what?
Hmm.
Kind of
Yeah.
the hell kind of fascists are these guys? Like, don't even wear a bracelet. Like, we're going into another dimension or like another freaking galaxy, dude. Calm down.
Yeah.
And then there's this dude, which is basically what I've been asking for the entire season. Show us more people on other planets doing weird shit,
Hmm.
which this guy has been. So they've been trying to reactivate, I guess, other planets or that had the proto molecule buildings on it, or they're trying to make this, like whatever this is. I didn't really understand.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what they were doing.
So they were making something to contact the original aliens, or I'm not really sure what the hell they were doing, but they were doing something with alien tech. And then this dude becomes all weird and fascist, and then says like, "We have to do things a certain way. Give me your bracelet because that really matters." Uh,
Well, it doesn't conform to their uniform standards.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was like she was like it was a
Sentimental?
memento thing, and he wanted her to leave her past behind. So they really want to cut off any sort of like even anything with Mars. Like
Right.
they're out from our galaxy. The mad scientists. Yeah, I wanted more mad scientist stuff. And I wanted the other girl because the other girl's on the other planet still doing um, research on what the eye was from last
Yeah.
season, and I really wanted to see what she's finding out. But I guess we're gonna get to all that the next season.
I
Uh,
do. I was a bit disappointed that that planet looked like the other one we were on. Was that the same planet?
I know. I don't think it was. I
See, it
think it
looked
was
the
another
same, and
planet.
that's a problem. I think they should look different.
It didn't look that much the same. It looked more lively. I'm trying to get to that picture
But it
again.
had those things.
It had those things because they use those things. But this planet seems more green and more
Mm.
mountainous than the other planet. At least the part that they're on. I don't know if the other planet was as lively as theirs is. But this is just kind of like the same stuff that the aliens used. So it just
Mm.
means that they were in different parts of the galaxy using the same technology.
Or maybe they were on all of the planets.
Exactly. Or maybe they were on all the planets.
So they've
So,
landed on something they don't quite know
yes, I
what
think
it
that's what's
is.
going on. They don't know what's going on, or they're trying to build something similar. And that's the other thing too, because that seems like what they're trying to build or trying to activate. I wasn't sure what
Mm.
was going on there because either they're building it and trying to replicate kind of like the other aliens, or this was there also and they're trying to reactivate it,
So
which
they
would be
can communicate with the builders, maybe.
yeah, which would be really dumb. Like, why would you do this? Uh, like you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's reactivate this thing with alien technology
yeah,
and awaken the aliens.
the ones that have been locked away for no good reason. So then this happens, the most interesting part of the series, which is they.
Freaking
This
amazing.
was cool, man. They go into the alien weird dimension, right? This is what happened, right?
I see that's not my interpretation of what happened.
But they
That
appeared though. Look,
it
there's the aliens.
yeah, see, I think they were attacked.
You think they were attacked?
Yeah, I don't think they went in on purpose.
I think they went in on purpose. Well, not purpose. No, no, no. I think they were attacked. I think the aliens opened up their dimension here and swallowed these guys whole. Like, I don't think they're dead, though, is what I'm saying. I think they're in the alien dimension now, wherever those guys are that, like, kind of like they're flying around where the eye was showing.
Hmm.
I think this ship is there now.
Oh, you think they were transported somewhere?
Yes. I think this is the, like
Like a gate?
the gate, because when they're going through it's like red, so they go through this dimension or whatever, and that's where those aliens are. I think that's what happened. I don't think they died. They're going through it.
Oh. Mm. See, the reason I don't think so is because when Holden showed Fred the aliens, that's what they look like. So
Yes,
my thought was that those were the aliens that they encountered, and the aliens just killed them.
I don't think they
Like
killed them.
they're
I think they took them into their dimension for whatever reason.
any
We
book
don't know
readers
why.
know the answer.
So Sketch says attack, that's just what it's like to pass through, right? Yeah, well, it's not like when you pass through, it doesn't have that red thing. You just pass through
Mm-mm.
that blue, like, because it has that blue light. And then you go through it, and then look, it's actually a big amount of space to fly through before you get to the other side. And then, like, but in this case, this red thing opened, and then they went through. Hi, PJ.
And see,
Hi.
you say it opened the red thing, but
Well,
the thing looks just like the aliens.
they just kind of like, and it's interesting that it happened right after they had that discussion with this dude about
Hmm.
this planet thing, right?
Hmm.
So it's like as if they did something, and then these aliens were like, "All right, let's see what you got," and then they're
We
like,
see you, Curtis. Curtis said
let's
they're
see your
dead. Trust me.
technology and let's see what you got over here," and then they kind of like
See,
absorbed them.
see, exactly. I think it ate them.
Yeah, it absorbed them into their dimension. Look at, they're like absorbing them. Maybe they want to find out what kind of technology they have, what they're about, but but it doesn't seem like they're being destroyed. It seems like they're going into that dimension. And maybe they
Hmm.
are being destroyed. I mean, who knows? And then you see this really ominous scene
Hmm.
of the credits rolling with the thing zooming into what that, I guess, space station or whatever that is, the
Hmm.
planet, the atmosphere station. What is that? I'm trying to get a good shot on it. There it is. And that's the thing that's floating above that planet that the scientists were working on. So that's, I guess that's where the yes, Expanse.
Yay.
That's where the next season mostly will be. Uh,
Oh,
okay, Curtis
so
says they are dead. Trust me. Okay, take your word for it. They're dead. Turn them into dust. Oh, I thought they were totally just gone into another dimension. That sucks. I'd rather them like still be alive and into another dimension. But
oh, I'm glad they're attacked because then the question becomes if they were attacked, are there any other ships that have also been attacked?
I think they were
Like
the first.
at first?
I think they were the first.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Well,
Because it'd
from
be really weird. Yeah, because they don't mention losing contact with them, but you had so many Martians leaving, right, and going off into these worlds and settling. It just makes me wonder whether they were the first or whether they didn't know that these ships were being killed or destroyed or whatever.
Sketch says there is more than one ancient alien faction. Yeah,
Oh,
like because they were the ones that locked the like there was another a faction that locked those guys up in that dimension. They had a war with another alien species, from what I
and these,
understand.
yeah, these guys won.
And
And
yeah,
they've just been waiting, apparently.
they've just been waiting. Jeff says burp, like it ate them. Sketch says, all I know is that they stated thing they were achieving stable creation of structures using the protomolecule. Yeah. So they
Oh,
maybe they were trying to build like another structure that could contain the protomolecule. Alien space battleships. Oh my God, that'd be great.
that should get interesting.
I would like to see that a lot. That's what is called a Dutchman and the Expanse. Oh, that's what you were talking about from the beginning.
So I wonder
The
if,
killers of the ring builders.
and
Oh,
maybe the killers of everyone else.
come on, more aliens. That's what we.
See, this is why you don't go flying through an alien ring or towards one without years of investigation.
Yeah,
They
like
just
send in
all
some
just
freaking drones, man. Jesus.
drones, rats, monkeys. There's a whole process here.
Wait and see if like anything comes through. I don't know. Also, are all the Martians going to the same planet or ring planet, or are other Martians going to other rings? I think they're going to the other ones. I think they're just kind of like going to different. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're settling different planets, but
Yeah.
now we don't know if they all made it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with Jane too, Curtis. Like, what are they doing? There's no thought put out on this. Like, let's just go.
Because would you? I mean, if a portal opened up that took you to other worlds, would you just go? I mean, you just heard about it, like let's say 6 months ago.
No.
Oh, but all the Martians were just
Fuck
like, we're
no.
gonna give up on terraforming and just go.
Dude, I wouldn't even go to Mars. I'd be like, I'm waiting until you terraform Mars before I go. I'm not interested in going to some like dead ass planet. Uh, Jeff Wheeler says multiple planets have been settled by Earth, the Belt, and Mars. Laconia is the only planet with an alien space station, though, and this is, I'm guessing, that is the alien space station.
I just think it happened way too quickly.
What
Like
the
they
alien
just
space?
rushed these planets without a thought in the world as to whether the ring would close. It's just you don't know if it's stable.
I mean, I agree with you, but at the same time, I like that aspect of it because of like what was happening in the last season. Like, but like when you find out that there's like this other alien race and like, there's like
Hmm.
when you find those stuff out, it's like, okay, we found this stuff out. Let's go back to Earth or Mars or wherever. scientifically study this more
Right.
and figure out what we're doing here because we're not ready for this. Like,
Right.
and that's where I think it's more like it's unrealistic that they would just be like, let's keep going. Like, like I don't know.
Let's say you land on a planet, it's uninhabited, but whoever did inhabit it before has completely disappeared. Like that would be a warning. That
Yeah.
would be a red flag.
And they still haven't run into like any other species. That's not good. uh, in the books, Steph, in the books, I thought that is a ring builder's ship, not station.
A ring builder ship.
Oh, well, either way, it looks cool as shit, and
It
this is
does
what I
look
want the
cool.
Expanse to be about: alien crap. I'm a soldier. Sky says, I'm a soldier. I swore I'd go anywhere at any time for freedom. Many people will go anywhere for duty, discovery, and profit. That's interesting. So you would go through the gate with like no knowledge. You'd be like, sign me up. I'm going in.
It's just, I feel like whether you're going for freedom or profit, you would still want to make sure it's safe because if you die,
Then
then you get neither.
there's no respawn unless you're like in another reality, like altered carbon, where you could just like stick another chip in your body, or I don't know, whatever. We're mixing up realities here now.
Well, when the first people landed in America, they didn't know they were in America. They were just walking. It wasn't another planet.
Yeah.
They just walked and found, just it's just like walking. You're just walking and you continue to walk, you're going to get to the other side of the planet.
Well, they were on boats first, and then they were like,
No, like from Asia,
oh,
Siberia, whatever. They walked across the ice. They were on foot,
let's just go for a walk.
probably following animals, migration patterns of wildlife.
Migration patterns. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you had things ahead of you, like animals. That showed you that it was safe.
Yeah, some things lived on the planet, or the planet. Oh, Sketch says to keep you safe from alien invasion. Yeah, I'd go. Oh, that's
Oh,
sweet.
it is.
That's very sweet. I'm okay with you sacrificing yourself for me. Thank you. Um, Bill says, but they thrived, and in just a few hundred years, they had forgotten the strongest country in the planet's ever seen. What, Britain at
Huh?
the time? I don't.
Oh, is he talking about like the pilgrims?
I think he's talking about going across America.
Well, he said people, the first people to land in America.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't forge America. I'm confused now,
I'm
Will.
confused. Are you talking about the
Oh,
myth?
he's talking about the white. Well, they didn't. See, that's not what you said. You said, um, the first people to land in America. That wouldn't be the Europeans.
The first people in America were in the indigenous people. They already lived there.
So again, when they arrived, they saw people. So again, they knew it was safe. It's very different.
Yeah, like
And they came by accident. They didn't forge any.
Will says it's a sense of adventure, the sense of discovery, the challenge, discovering and mastering new lands.
It wasn't.
Um,
By then, they knew it was here already. See, you're confused. The
no,
people
I
who
think
came here.
he's talking about like people who want to go through the gate. That
Okay,
it's
but
about
here's the difference.
discovery and mastering
Here's
new lands.
here's the difference. The difference is the Europeans who came intentionally to America for freedom or whatever knew about America before they got here.
Yeah,
Columbus got here by accident. But in either situation, they knew it was, inhabited. There are people, there are plants, there are animals. It's very different from going to a whole other planet with
Hang on, hang on. We're
aliens.
not even talking about another planet, you guys. We're talking about another galaxy, okay? They're not going to Saturn. They're going
Right.
to another completely different galaxy. We're not even talking like the
Completely
same.
unexplored.
Yeah,
No one
we're
had
talking
ever been there.
about.
It's not like going to, Chile or something.
He says we're entirely missing his point.
We're not missing your point. Whoever came to America got here knowing full well that it was inhabitable or that it was habitable. It's it's not like going to a different galaxy.
He's saying I think he's saying that the sense of discovery, like that, like the idea that people would risk their lives to go out, not knowing what lay ahead, to do this because like there's just some people that are like
And
that kind of
you
thing.
would do that. And it's a difference having that mindset toward a place that you know is relatively safe versus a completely unknown land
Hmm.
in an unknown universe.
Pioneers, they're called, says Eclay.
Suicidal freaks is what I would call them.
Um, Will says, so do you think Kirk and Spock should have stayed at home then? They
They did not,
already dealt with aliens.
and they didn't just randomly drop onto planes. They
Vulcans
checked it
Vulcans
out
came to
first.
Earth, okay? The Vulcans first made contact. First contact was made with the Vulcans on Earth, on our home turf. And then they were like, yeah, there's all these planets and all these different places and all these things, and we'll help you step by step get there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to go to the first, to another galaxy right away. Q sent them to another galaxy because they were like getting too full of themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, you know what? I'll show you what it's like if you want to go that far.
There you go.
Flipped them to where the Borg were, and then they were like, FML, this was a terrible decision. Please take us back, Q. Please. And then Picard had to beg for them to be taken back. But like the point, like I understand both of your points of views because like while I like to travel to space and I think it's good and like that's what we need to be doing. I'm with Elon Musk in terms of like going to the like other planets and exploring and everything like that. There has to be other things that correlate with that though, like for example the fact that the Vulcans thought we were ready to explore
Mm-hmm.
space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like right now we're still in that mentality, that childish mentality that we're going to take with us all of our bullshit into space. So until we figure those things out, like it's not going to be a great time up there either.
And by the way, I'm not saying they shouldn't go. I'm saying that there are scientific steps to this process, like sending machines first, right? Sending rats first, sending, bigger mammals like monkeys,
Monkeys.
and then sending a few humans, a few at a time, make sure they can get there, get back, before you settle a colony. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm even fine with like I said, I'm even fine with going in head first and being like all gung ho and like, well, yeah, let's go, and then going there, and then you find out the things you find out. Like maybe take a step back, then just be like, all right,
Yeah,
we don't really know what we're doing. We gotta study this shit. Like this is not like you know what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
a wise man learns from his mistakes. Like you can't just keep going once you realize that you're no match for what's ahead.
We didn't just fly to the moon one day randomly. That was years in the making.
Yeah, I mean I'm with you, Will, but that came after we reached a certain level. That like you're talking about like Kirk and them didn't do this. uh, Kirk, you're talking about Picard, and Kirk and them, like first contact, they met the Vulcans because Johnny Cochran was able to get to warp speed. Once he reached warp speed, then we were worthy of space travel and first contact.
And before they landed anywhere, they completed an assessment. They didn't just drop down.
They had science. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, I just think that, like, that there's a lot that goes to this, but I agree. I agree, though. I mean, I want us to go into space. I want us to be
Because
brave.
remember, the Martians just left. Like they literally saw an opening, dropped their tools, stopped terraforming, and just went.
Well,
They didn't
like
know
this
where
is
they were
this
going.
is
They
what
didn't
I'm
know what to
wondering now
expect.
too. This is what I'm wondering about this, like, series right now, because now that the Martians have been attacked, because they're whatever that was. I
Mhm.
don't know whether that's they're going into another dimension, or whether they really did get attacked and, like when got obliterated. That's, like, that's crazy. So now what are the scientists going to think on that side? And what are the, like, what are the belters going to think on this side, like Marcos and them, because they're going to be like, wait a minute, this Martian dude that we've been dealing with just died, like, in an
Right.
instant. Like, his entire fleet is gone, like the fleet that they were going through the gate with. So, like, I think, like, that's kind of like, what comes next is actually going to be really interesting, because they're kind of like, well, what the fuck just happened, right? Like, how
Right.
are they going to find that out?
I would think everyone who's presently through the gate would be panicking right now.
Yeah, like in First Contact, when he made that nuke, remember,
Johnny Cochran.
whatever that guy's name was. What
That's
was his
funny.
name?
Zephram. They say Zephram Cochran.
Yeah, Zefram Cochrane, that guy. Sorry, I made a mistake. I'm not good with names. Zefram Cochrane. Yeah, thank you, Jeff, thank you. Fella, great. I'm so glad I'm entertaining you guys. This is what we do here.
This is what we do.
Johnny got game. That's right. It's true. Oh no. Um, that's fine. Whatever. Um, but yeah, like, I think that going forward to next season, there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah,
cool stuff to you know. I mean, it
I'm
better be.
excited.
I
I'm
mean, I'm
excited.
excited too, but, like, shit, like, this series was a wash. I mean, this season, because like, I want next season now, like, and God knows when we're getting that, because of the whole Coof situation.
Yeah.
I don't
I think it
know.
was a filler season, probably.
I wonder if I'm gonna feel that way once I read the book, though. I feel like, because it's, what's weird is, I've heard that this book, like the
Hmm.
season that they did this book on, was apparently the best book of the entire, like, well,
Yeah.
saga. I wouldn't say saga, because there's more books. The series. I've heard
But
that this was one of the best books.
there was so much more apparently that happened that just wasn't included
Right.
because they stuck on these three, I guess, three storylines that took forever.
Yes. Yeah, but I wonder what's gonna happen with that. It's just, this was a filler season.
Yeah.
Was it, though? Because apparently it's based on the books. I'm so confused
But
about
it's
this.
not though. This season, it seems like, at least based on what people are saying, there were so many more things they could have added to make it more interesting, and they chose not to. They chose to stretch out Naomi's story. They chose to stretch out Amos's story, and
Right.
it left out so many more events that we just didn't get to see.
Winston Duarte, High Council of the Lackawanna defector from the Martian Navy, is the leader of the runaway Martian Navy types. That's the dude that died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody else should probably be like, we were following this dude, and now he's gone.
Filler season is a sass statement, but I get it. That's what it felt like. Yeah, well, I'm sassy, man. Look at what they did to Alex. This is bullshit. This was a
Yeah.
bullshit season. Compared to like every other season that has come before, this was a drop. Like
It was
this is
it
not
was
good.
the worst one. I would agree.
I think that this was the worst season of the Expanse. And I hope that they like, I mean, I hope they ended it. Oh, sad. Thought you meant sass. I'm like, yeah, I am sassy. This. No worries. No worries, bro. No worries. But I mean, I actually liked your sass comment. I thought like, yeah, I'm sassy. This is bullshit. They like the first thing I wrote Jane, I was like, did you watch the episode? And Jane was like, at first she was like, no, and then she like wrote me back. And I was like, they did Alex dirty, man. They did Alex dirty in like freaking caps. I was so mad. I'm like, this is
Oh,
Sketch says, you be sassy, girl. I don't mind it. I'm all about the sass. Yeah, I was pissed. I'm like, this.
yeah, that was wrong.
Okay. Oh, Quartzar died, not Durate. What? I thought that was the same dude. I don't. I keep getting
Who's
these
the other
people.
dude?
I thought that was the dude that
I'm
was giving the
sure.
speech. Remember on? Yeah, too many damn admirals.
Hmm.
And see, that's actually okay. Here we go. This is a flaw right here. This is a flaw um from the season, like from the for the people who make this, because they
Yeah.
have to like you would have to spend more time with these characters, like this admiral and this admiral and whoever else like is going to be the next, like that is going to be important to the series, to get us to understand like who's who and what's what. Like they had one episode with Alex going to Mars and like, you know, going to
Yeah.
that speech from that one you know, Martian guy. And like that's it. Like and I guess that was Durante because that girl was his whatever assistant or whatever it was. But it was just like you know, instead of revamping or like trying to establish these characters over and over that we already know for the past fifth season, focus more
Hmm.
on these characters that we don't know and are going to be integral
Right.
part of the story next. Like, you know, like I don't like not knowing who's who now.
Hmm.
Like, you know, kind of like they did with Frank and that other dude, the old dude that died. I mean, they established those characters, even though they
Right.
were kind of like secondary characters. At least you knew who they were,
Hmm.
and like, you know, okay, they're important to this part of the story.
And that's
Um,
the other thing too. From what I've heard, Frank didn't die.
oh, great! That makes me even more upset then because I really like this fucking character, and then they killed him off. Sky says rewatch party. I think on Twitch you can watch on screen. I don't have a Twitch account, man. I'm too much of a boomer for that. Jane's got a Twitch though.
I have a Twitch.
I found out that audiobooks are really cool, says Curtis. I can't do audiobooks, but I will read them. I have to.
I like the audio books.
I can't do audiobooks. I like listening to my own voice and my own brain. I'm very particular when it comes to books. 16-bit mascot, hello, says, so did this show turn to crap? Because people have been saying you should watch The Expanse for years now, and I hesitate a lot.
I think you
Since
should
you,
watch it.
well, like I'm gonna say, since you waited this long, just wait until it's over, which is like next season, and then we can tell you if it pulls a great Game of Thrones season 8, you know, because then it's like not worth it. Although I think that you should still watch season 1. Season 1 was one of the best seasons of television I've seen in a long time.
And I wouldn't really say it turned to crap per se. With all the criticisms I have, it was still the most entertaining show I've
That's also
watched,
valid.
period, recently, like in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's
Um,
still very good. It's high quality
yeah,
TV.
it's better than anything else out there.
It is. It's
So,
true. It is better than anything else out there. It's just you know what it is that they've set the bar so high
so high.
with the other seasons that's now it like, you know, it's sad that they,
Hmm.
you know, didn't do so well for this season.
Right.
That's all. Like because the bar was set so high for the other seasons.
It's so good, especially season one
I mean, season one, like I said, it was one of it's a gem.
and two
It's
and
one of
three.
those things. Never before have I seen such a great season of television. Uh, maybe Game of Thrones. I mean, season one of Game of Thrones was really good too. But this is in
Yeah.
space. I mean, I can't like. Come on, this the space. Yes, always cool space
Oh,
battles.
visually just amazing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of my criticism came after thinking about it after the fact. It wasn't so much as it was happening for me.
Oh, it was. I was as it was happening for me
Well,
for
the
sure.
Alex scene is probably the only exception
Like
for
the
me.
Alex scene and that scene where Naomi's like forcing Holden to listen to that freaking audio tape.
Mm.
I was literally sitting there like this. I was like, "Are you
And he
kidding?"
just said he didn't want to hear it. Like,
Oh,
why?
yeah. And then and that scene that um Amos dropped that whiskey. Like I was like,
Mhm.
why is this important? This is the last episode. Like, come on. Like, you know, you do these kind of scenes in episodes that you're trying to fill like, you know, like little bits and parts here and there, but this is the last episode. We need it to be strong.
Yeah, no.
Like you said, like I would have preferred there to be more of a reunion scene that like, you know, expressed emotions more or something. It's just like everything was just so rushed. I definitely think they reshot a lot of it
Yeah.
because of what happened with Alex.
But it was just no excuse for it, I don't think.
No. So what okay, theories for next season, Jane?
Oh, I can't wait to see the aliens start taking out all of the ships.
Oh
My
yeah.
theory is that everyone who's left and settled the planet is dead or dying.
Oh, I
Like I
hope
think they
not
have
because I really
cleared
want to
out.
see that scientist chick again.
Yeah,
The
I
one
think
that's
they're all
been
dead.
you really think so? I hope
Mhm.
not.
I think they're all dead or they're being systematically attacked because the thing is coming back. It's
Uh,
loose or whatever.
Jeff says I like Peaches and Amos this season, or Amos and Peaches this season. I like them too, but one episode done.
Right. Yeah, one episode would have been
That's it.
fine.
Yeah, and I liked Eric too. One
Mhm.
episode done. Like,
I want to see more of him next season. I want
I
to
do
see him
too.
as one of Avasarala's men. Um, Bobby going on missions to get
Yes.
to the Martians, but I think all of that's going to come to a halt when they realize that they're being attacked by aliens.
I think so too. Scott, no, we will not be getting the 30-year jump yet. The 30-year jump comes after the sixth season, from what I understand, and that is why they're taking a break. Um, so like when they're saying that the Expanse is ending after season six, that's when they're ending it until they like the writers finish the book series, which has the 30-year jump then. um yeah, and then they're gonna, if they come back, that's when they're coming back, because when that jump happens.
Yeah. Mhm.
um hey Titan
Hello.
and DD Myers, thanks for joining us. So this was that article that I talked about
No.
earlier. It says we asked a Bay Area astrophysicist if Amazon's sci-fi hit The Expanse is realistic. um In the eye of Alex Filipenko, a renowned astrophysicist and professor of astronomy at UC Berkeley, there are two types of science fiction shows: science fiction and extreme science fiction. A
Hmm.
lot of science fiction shows just assume that you have the technology to be able to get certain things done, while ignoring how realistic it is to get those things done. He said TV shows like Star Trek and sets of movies like Star Wars didn't really try to pay much attention to the science, but The Expanse does. The Expanse is an Amazon Prime Video hit science fiction show, normal science fiction, not extreme science fiction, that is wrapping up its fifth season this week. The first three seasons were on Sci Fi Channel. Set a few hundred years in the future. Damn, it's just a few hundred
Hmm.
years in the future. That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. The Expanse is a bit like Space Game of Thrones. I don't like
Mm,
that they call it that. It's not.
no, it's
It is
not.
not. I disagree.
It's
I
so much better.
disagree. As it follows the conflicts between human factions from partially terraformed Mars, Elon Musk was evidently vindicated in that this time, and colonized asteroid belt and Earth. Like Game of Thrones, The Expanse offers plenty of political intrigue and often graphic violence. Not that graphic, in addition to strong character development and world building. Unlike Star Trek and Star Wars and other extreme science fiction properties, there are no hyperdrives, warp drives, transporters, deflectors, shields, or internal dampers. There is now. They have the what is it called? Stealth tech.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. They have different technology, not, I mean, they don't have the traditional science fiction technology, but they have their own.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have stealth tech until very recently. All of the space travel on the Expanse occurs in our solar system, except this one plot line about a network of portals created by aliens, which is the Expanse.
See you later, Curtis.
Bye, Curtis. Thanks for joining us. Um, and Filipenko, who has not watched the show but is familiar with the show's various technologies, dude, go watch the show.
How can you have an. Why are you here then?
Why are you even talking about this then? I almost want to just X out this article because I'm like, you haven't watched it and you're commenting. What are you doing to me right now? But is familiar with the show's various technologies and plot points, had very positive things to say about the show's realism. I'm not knocking Star Trek and other extreme science fiction. I actually liked the series growing up, he said. I'm just saying that they pulled technology out of the air and said, we're going to have transporters and internal dumpers and other stuff. So don't worry about it. But The Expanse really paid attention to the science the way few movies and shows have done. As stated above, there's no light speed travel in Expanse. Instead, the space travel is all about acceleration. And unlike those shows, The Expanse addresses the fact that rapidly changing speeds would be very bad for the body without a magnetic device like an internal damper. As you see in the video clip below, ships change directions with a flip of a burn maneuver that requires passengers to strap in and receive injections of a juice. Rapid acceleration is one direction, also requires the juice. That's interesting. I didn't realize that they get injected. In The
Hmm.
Expanse, they try to speed up and slow down at reasonable G factors, and even there, they have to include a little magic in the form of a juice you inject that helps mitigate the effects of a large G on things like blood flow. Filipenko said, if you look at fighter pilots and others who experience high Gs, bad things can happen to them under high Gs, such as inhibition of blood flow. The Expanse tried to recognize that with the juice, which is kind of like internal damper, but nowhere near as extreme. Filipenko also appreciates the way the Rocinante, the spaceship of the main show's protagonist, generally
Hmm.
gravitates through its acceleration. The Rocinante is built more like a skyscraper with decks like floors, he said, and accelerating perpendicular to those decks, at least according to Einstein's principle of equivalence, that acceleration would be equivalent to gravity in the opposite direction. By accelerating, they realistically create gravity on the decks of that spaceship, and it's an amount of gravity that's doable and comfortable for humans that are on that particular ship. Most spaceships in other shows have been flat platforms that, if you're looking at football field, only accelerate in the direction of the plane of the football field. That doesn't create gravity for you. In 2001 Space Odyssey, they did it by rotating the spacecraft, which is a
Mhm.
reasonable way to generate gravity. But the better way to do it is in the Expanse, did it with perpendicular acceleration. I commend the creators of The Expanse for creating gravity in a realistic way. Unlike Star Wars, where characters out in space can communicate with one another in real time via holograms, The Expanse depicts a lag in communication. That's also pretty realistic. Communications, well, okay, here's the thing with my Star Wars. I'm just going to say
Mhm.
my piece on the Star Wars situation. It's a galaxy far, far away. Get out of here, okay? Like they don't have the same, they're not going to have the same physics
Right.
as us. So I always excuse that thing about Star Wars having a different kind of like, oh, so it's not realistic. Well, it's not gonna be. It's a galaxy far, far away. They have different physics over there. That's just it's just my piece on that. Whereas in, like, Star Trek, it's more like
Mhm.
our like future. Communications are not faster than the speed of light. Filipenko said it takes light about 40 minutes to go from Earth to Jupiter, and from Earth to Mars, it's about 15 to 20 minutes. They took it into account that communications are not instantaneous.
Mhm.
I like that too, that it was like it seems very realistic like that. While The Expanse gets a lot right, and it has some extreme science fiction elements, as well as one major element that runs completely counter to the science, even if we assume the advent of magical technologies. The Juice is one such extreme science fiction element where the viewer is just supposed to trust that humans were able to develop such concoctions, and that is the Epstein drive. Does it have to be called Epstein? Jesus. Which somehow allowed the show's spaceships to maintain acceleration through the ship's entire voyage. You're going to need a lot of energy for that, and they don't really talk about how that's done. That's true.
Mhm.
It's presumably nuclear, but then you have to deal with the fact that emitted will do damage. They've talked about running out of fuel, though. I don't think it's nuclear. Maybe one day humans overcome those batteries, but the Epstein drive is extreme science fiction in that sense, but not as unrealistic and as faster than light travel or the warp drive from Star Trek.
Right.
Uh, True. The big thing the show and almost every project that incorporates space travel misses is the simple fact that there is no sound in space. Yeah, that's been talked about a lot. They're still including things like explosions and sounds in space. Well, you can't really. I mean, it's a freaking TV show. Come on now. Like, if you don't have explosions in space, or if you do and it's just visual, it's not going to look. I don't know if you know what I mean. Like, it's not going to translate well.
I think the sound that they're giving us, if I remember correctly, is usually from the internal thing that's exploding, or the internal side of the thing that's exploding. You
Mhm,
don't know, you know, like for example, when the ship's turning, right, and they're preparing to attack,
mhm.
um, you hear the cogs, you hear the guns coming out of the ship, you hear them, the missiles shooting out, but you're hearing it from the inside of the ship.
That's true.
So that's what I wonder if it's just a matter of perception. Just because you see the and hear the explosion doesn't mean that it's coming from space. You could
Right.
be
It's
hearing
coming
it
from
from the
inside
inside.
the ship, and
Right.
like there are like guns, turrets, and like everything like that.
Mhm.
And I agree with you, sketch therapy. Quantum entanglement could make faster than light communication possible. And that's the kind of stuff that they're trying to do now. Like they're trying to get to, like, quantum computing and everything like that, which will make a lot of things different, even in our reality once
Mhm.
it's achieved. Um, But moving on with this, sounds doesn't carry in vacuum, but you lose dramatic effect if you don't incorporate sounds, the drama. Like I wish I could go back right now and watch that scene again. Like when Naomi is in space and she's floating to that door. We didn't really hear any sounds, did we?
I don't think so.
We heard like the sound of like when she grabbed the door and stuff like that, but that's what I'm talking about because like if you don't have those kind of sounds, like there's not gonna be like when you know what I mean? Like when she
Okay.
bumped into the thing, there was a sound,
Right.
like there was like a thump sound.
But that's again,
Stuff.
we could have been hearing it from the inside of the ship.
Or
She was
inside of her
encountering a
helmet.
thing. Well, that too, yeah.
But like I well wait, actually she didn't have a helmet at the time. She just jumped out of the spaceship.
Then it would have been from inside the ship.
But she wasn't in the ship yet. She was
No,
just like
when
she
she hit it, she
like
hit
when
it.
yeah, when she hit it, she was still in space though.
Hmm. So we weren't hearing it from her perspective. We were hearing it from the inside of the ship,
But the
as
shot
if we
was
were in
from
the ship.
outside of the ship though.
I know. I'm just saying that would explain the sound. The fact that we heard it would mean that we were hearing it from the inside, not the outside.
Right. Okay. I guess I could see that.
Even though we're viewing it from the outside, that doesn't mean there's not a sound on the inside.
That's true. If there's a sound in space and no one's around. Oh God. The drama withers away if you don't have sound. Exactly. This is what my point is. That's an obvious area where they ignored science, but I give them the pass for that one. But when compared to the rest of the genre, Filipenko says the Expanse can safely dodge the extreme science fiction. I really want this guy to break down that episode, like the last episode or the
Yeah.
episode before where Naomi's floating in space and like just talk about that. As a scientist, I respect when writers and producers pay attention to the science as currently known. So science fiction isn't completely fantasy. He said, which is not to say that I don't enjoy extreme science fiction. It's just that they're mostly fiction in The Expanse. They try to meld science and fiction much more than the other shows have. And here's where I'm going to kind of disagree with this man because I believe that science fiction is the path to actual science. And
Hmm.
here's why because people like Gene Roddenberry and people who imagine things that have happened, like in Star Trek, has caused real scientists to be like, well, how would this work? And then gone to make those things happen and bring them to
Right.
reality. So if you don't imagine something, there's no way that you're ever going to achieve it. So like us saying like, oh, like there's no such thing as a warp drive. Well,
Hmm.
like you could make a warp drive if get there with like applying the sciences that we have, but like discovering more and thinking, okay, end goal is to make a warp drive. How would I
Right.
do this? And then, do whatever you need to do to make the warp drive. But saying like, oh, this is like hard science and like it's not going to work in our reality, like I feel like that's a little bit limited.
I agree. And I'm surprised he didn't mention the body types and how that could affect things, how realistic that
Well,
is.
the guy hasn't watched the show.
Well, see, that's the problem. He needs to watch the show.
Dude, go watch the show. But I don't really like it when scientists are like, like, oh, we're just gonna like, bash these science things, like, like Star Wars science is not real science. Like, come on, dude, like get an imagination. I don't know. Like if you're not gonna have an imagination, you're not gonna get anywhere. No
Hmm.
science is gonna get anywhere unless you have an imagination. You think Einstein just was like, oh, I don't know about E equals MC squared. Like, like there has to be something behind that, right? Like you have to have some sort of, your own analytical mind that sees whatever is in front of you, like in reality, has to like stretch itself to be able to see what's beyond its reality in order to be able to
Exactly.
achieve that. And that's why science fiction is so important to actual science. Like you think that like, scientists, when they saw like Star Trek and they saw like, freaking flat screens and us talking on our video phones and stuff like that. And even before Star Trek, there was science fiction that was, showing us those things, right? Like
Mhm.
if you, like people were like, well, like, yeah, right. Like, like we've got wire phones and like there's no way that they would do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like this is where we are now because of all those people who have, you know, had that vision.
I think that's true. And right, a thought experiment.
Yeah.
But I hate when they do analysis based on third party information. He
Yeah.
needs to go back and watch the series and then tell us what he thinks.
Yeah, like
Because
please
it could make
don't.
whatever he has a question about could make sense in context.
Or read the book. I mean, if he had
Hmm.
read the book and he'd be like, "Yeah, I haven't watched the series, but I read the book," I'd be like, "Okay, like you have some valid opinions then."
Right.
But the guy has like done nothing. He's like, "I watched some episodes, and I can tell you this." You sound like a lazy fuck. Like, get out of here. Um, Go focus on your non-science-ness and get
Right.
nowhere. Like, like this is what I have a problem with because I think the guy he was an astrophysicist. Like,
Hmm.
and then astrophysicists always make fun of theoretical physicists. It's like a thing within their community. And I'm like, without theoretical physics, your fucking department would be
Hmm.
nothing because you have to
Right.
have theory before you have action.
Exactly.
It's
But
just
they don't
like,
understand that.
no. It's really weird for me. E. Clay says this is fiction set up in the future. No one knows what kind of tech will exist by then. Anything is possible. That's what I mean. Science fiction usually sets our future. Like if we just like we have different possibilities. Think infinitely,
Hmm.
right? Like we have different possibilities. We have the option of going the Star Trek route, or we have the option of going this route. That there are these different kind of things that we can achieve through science fiction. I've always believed in that. Um, like I remember the other night, like I was on Twitter and somebody was like we were talking about like the masks and stuff like that, like some
Hmm.
argument with like the whole Koof situation, and somebody was like, "Quit reading science fiction and like read actual science." And I'm like, if you read some science fiction, you would imagine a way out of this without being like so bogged down to what our science is telling us right now because
Yeah.
science changes based on theory.
Exactly.
It's just
New
crazy.
information.
Exactly. Sketch says Einstein's what? Squid?
Sucked.
Sucked. Sucked in math. His wife crunched the numbers. He just thought about trains all day. I've heard he didn't graduate from college. I think that's or not college, high school. He was a high school dropout
But
apparently.
he had like high, very high IQ, right?
Yeah, but he was like a high school dropout.
I could see that.
Hmm. Anyways, we've been going for like 2 hours and 37 minutes. So Jane, I like you said, lots of cool stuff gonna happen next season. Do you have any info about where they're at in terms of like filming or
I don't. I have
uh
not heard anything.
the Expanse season 6? I'm just gonna quickly see if there's any headlines. The Expanse season 6, Rocinante, Alex replacement revealed. What?
Wait, what?
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Breaking news on the Expanse. Let me share this. I was just seeing if there's any updates before we leave. And then I see this. Okay, we gotta have to read this. The Expanse season 6, Rocinante's Alex replacement revealed.
Please
Here's
don't
the
let
new
it be
Rocinante
Clarissa.
lineup for The Expanse season 6 following the forced departure of Alex Kamal. Since the very first season of The Expanse in 2015, the four core members of the Rocinante have been James Holden, Naomi Nagata, Amos, Alex. Other faces have come and gone during this. Okay, blah, blah, blah. And inevitably, the leadership, instead of lying down roots permanently, even in the original book series, James, Corey, and the main Rossi quartet remains in place heading into the final volume, despite sometimes splitting off to separate directions. That's no longer the case in the Expanse's adaptation. After filming wrapped on season 5, Cass Anvar was accused of multiple victims of harassment, blah, blah, blah. Several months later, following the internal investigation, the official announcement confirmed that the actor would not be involved in the show's 6th and final season. In accordance with Anvar's exit, the Expanse season 5 finale sees Alex suffer a stroke after burning Rosinante, blah, blah, blah. It's somewhat of a rushed demise, but necessary one under the circumstances.
No,
It
not
wasn't
really
necessary at all. It was
at all.
unnecessary. This is bullshit. This leaves an open slot of the Rocinante's roster. The Expanse has mooted several possible candidates over the course of season 5, but the final episode goes all out by confirming 2 new additions to the main crew and heavily hinting towards a third. This is how the Rocinante team looks ahead in season 6. Bull is Rocinante's new pilot. So this dude.
Okay.
The aftermath of Alex's death, filling Rocinante's empty pilot chair is immediate priority. Holden points out before setting off from Tycho Station, driving the Rossi isn't a simple task. The wheels of the Martian gunship isn't fit for any average pilot, and solid background of training and experience is needed to fly Rossi to her maximal capabilities. As former member of the MCR, and Alex was ideally suited at the Expanse's pilot, and replacement aren't easily found. Fortunately, Carlos Bull de Baca comes pretty damn close. Okay, so
Yeah, the one person who never wanted to be up there in the first place.
right. Clarissa Mao is the second mechanic alongside Amos.
Why do you need a second mechanic?
Why do you need? I thought. Wait, what? Because. Oh wait, Naomi was an engineer. She wasn't a mechanic. Who cares about this? This is stupid.
I didn't expect that to be her role.
Avasarala's speech sets up Bobby Draper to join the Rossi properly.
Why?
Because they're like unionizing now. Since Bull and Clarissa are both from Mars, and the Rossi needs Bobby to come in and represent Mars, ensuring that all 3 sides are encountered for the Expanse season 6. Okay.
I mean, they were already in an alliance.
Okay, so this doesn't really give us anything.
No.
This was a bunch of theory bullshit. Get out of here. I'm just trying to see if there's actually like an article that talks about like where they're at with the production. Which doesn't say anything right now. The Expanse season 6 on Amazon Prime release date. Yeah, there's no updates. But when there is updates, we will come back and update you, because I don't think there is any right now. And I have a feeling that there isn't gonna be for a while though. I have a feeling if we're gonna see okay, I will. It was like Screen Rant. I have a feeling that they're like, because of the whole Coof situation, that it's gonna be like 2022, 2023 that we will see the final season. What do you think, Jane?
Probably so. I don't remember how long they said it would take. But if they start production this year, then maybe 2023, 2024. I don't want it to take too long.
I don't want it to take too long either. I definitely don't think we're going to get it like next year though. I don't know if we're going to get it like in 2022. I think we're going to get it in 2023. It is. It's garbage. It's true.
I don't know. I mean, just, when I finish the books that are out so far, then I want the show to begin. Whenever that is.
When are you planning on reading the books?
I'm starting probably this weekend.
Wow,
Well, not
really?
this
Okay,
weekend, maybe
you're
right
way
after.
ahead of me. I have things to read before I read that book. So you're gonna be ahead of me,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
I'm dropping what I'm doing
Because
to do
I
that.
have to read. I'm reading Peter F. Hamilton's book. I have to finish it because it's like a sequel to something. So I'm like, I have to finish this. And then after that, I promised Kai that I would read his book. So I have to read Space Time Domino. And then after
Yeah,
that, I was planning on starting on this whole situation, but that's gonna take me a while.
yeah.
But after I do, like once I do like read it, I would love to talk about it with you. So maybe we'll turn it into like a book club or something and talk about the books.
That'd be
And
great.
yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so let everybody know where they can find you, Jayne. It's been a pleasure this evening.
Sure, you can find me on YouTube where I post movie and television reviews and pop culture commentary. You can find me on Saturday mornings at 8 Central Standard Time for Just Topics with Jane, where we discuss the week's events. And on Saturdays at 6 Central, you can catch me here for Rogue Entertainment, where we also discuss news and entertainment. If you enjoy Game of Thrones, you can catch me discussing Winds of Winter and A Song of Ice and Fire on Mondays at 6 Central on Sporking News Podcast. I will now be on the Queen's Council on Thursday evenings at what time is it?
Yeah, no, it's 9:30, usually 9:30 EST,
Yeah,
depending on what time this week is bullshit is done.
yeah, so roughly around 8 Central Standard Time.
Mm.
And you can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at Jayne Theory.
Right now, I don't know what's going on with next Sunday, but we'll do something again soon for sure. I will tell you guys this Monday, I'm going to be hanging out with John from John Talks on my channel, and we're going to be talking Nolan movies. And there will be some sci fi discussion as well, because we'll be talking probably our favorite Nolan movies, which will include, I'm sure, to some extent, Interstellar and Inception and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in Christopher Nolan movies, that will be really fun tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday at 8:30. Before that, I'll be on PJ's channel for Dark Matter Mondays, which I'm sure Jeff will be there for. And there you go. Wow. Yes, book club indeed. We should definitely have a book club.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It'll be fun. Um, did you watch the new WandaVision?
I did.
How'd you like that?
I wasn't happy with it.
Really?
Everyone else is so excited. I'm sitting here like, no.
Scott says Nolan is so overrated.
What?
Well, come on Monday and let's talk about it because I have some thoughts on that. I have some thoughts on that. Because
That's a hot take.
I think certain new movie was overrated, but I think that he's great. He's a great director. He's done a lot of stuff. That's
Hmm.
great. But I can't get into that right now. Monday at 8:30 Eastern. Come and hang out and talk about Nolan. That will be really fun. Um, I kind of want to talk WandaVision with you now. This is weird. Um,
Yeah.
do you have
I
to
haven't
go?
gotten my reviews out either for this WandaVision episode or the Expanse episode. So those are coming probably next week. I was supposed to do a review for today too. I didn't do it. Too much family stuff going on.
Oh, I got a
But
bunch of stuff. That's why I haven't done mine.
I did not like this last episode of WandaVision.
No, he didn't, honey. Well, debatable.
Now, the one thing I did like, I will say, was the scene where they point the guns at her and she turns them back on them.
That was
That
cool,
was
man.
that was
I,
epic.
I like that scene. That was probably my favorite scene from the whole show.
Yeah, that was her.
like, like the entire show so far. That was my favorite scene.
Yeah.
When she's like turning around and she goes like this,
Yes,
and they're
that
all
was
like,
badass.
"Oh, it was so good."
That
I
was
was like, "That's
badass.
Scarlet Witch!" Like,
Yes.
yes, that was so good.
But where she's, I don't like that they have her intentionally manipulating and not only the town, but also lying to Vision when he's clearly concerned, I don't like that they're portraying her that way.
I think that that's a red herring though, because they're saying that she like when she goes outside, she's like pretending that she's like in control and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she goes inside and she's talking to Vision about like, what's going on, and Vision's like asking her all these
Mm-hmm.
questions, she's like, I don't even know how this started. Like if she doesn't know how it started, that means she's not controlling it. Like she didn't make it up.
But
There's
see,
no
I
way.
took it as her lying to him.
Oh, you think so? I don't know if she was
Yeah.
lying.
If she is, I don't like this show. If she's not, then it just got more interesting.
I don't think she's lying, and I think that like they yeah, speaking of a recast, right? Like because
Yes.
they did that in WandaVision too.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. There was a recast there.
Make that
Um,
happen.
but like when they talked about her going and getting Vision's like body or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like I was like, okay, dude, they were doing some experiments or some shit on there. Like there's no way that Wanda would just go in there and be like, I'm just gonna take Vision so I can play Dr. Frankenstein and bring him back to life. Like I just don't see that happening. I think that it's just like I think maybe they were doing something to him. Like
But even
I
how
don't
they
know.
portrayed it, just I if all of this is a facade, if it's all fake, if it's all not happening, then I can deal with it better after I find out what's really going on. But if it's real, I just don't like what they're doing with her character.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm not feeling the whole like because people are like saying like that she's gonna be the villain.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
me either.
I think that's bullshit. I really hope they're not doing that. I still
I
think
hope
Agatha
not.
Harkness and whoever her husband is gonna be the villain. But I mean, who knows? I don't like
Mm,
I don't like that theory about
I
her being
don't
the villain.
either.
I'm
I
like,
don't
that's
like
bullshit.
it. But it looks, I mean, it's getting supported by what's on the screen.
I think that's all a red herring because it's only like what? Like we still have like 5 episodes left. There's
Mhm.
no way they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like she's gonna be the bad guy.
I hope you're right.
But anyways, sorry, we got sidetracked. We got sidetracked. We'll leave it for another show.
Maybe that'll be the
Everybody,
next show.
yeah, maybe that should be the next show. Next Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about WandaVision. Um, yeah, but we'll definitely do something because it's really fun to hang out with you.
Same.
So yeah, tomorrow night, everybody, 8:30, come to hang out about the Nolan thing. Wednesdays, I'm on John's channel for Infinite Talk, and Tuesdays, I'm on the Rogue Crew, probably Stephen Walton's channel or Finals channel on Tuesday. Saturdays, it's on my channel, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else to talk about. So, okay, everybody, thank you so much for being here.
Good
The
night.
Expanse was weird. And we'll see what happens next season. Hopefully, aliens. Please bring back
Please.
filler. Please. Proto molecule. Woo. Good night, everybody. Love you guys. Take care and
Bye.
have a good night.